Ho, ho, ho! Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
There are no winners here, Bob. You just pulled us all into the losers column with you.
Good. KZ, excellent. Dr. Aggro?
I have pretty decent opinions on Pokemon starters.
And Mr. Feel,
Today's episode foretold by Nostradamus.
here on GigaBoots.
Hey Dan, did anybody ever catch up with you that word is actually pronounced grok?
I've only heard it about 17 times over the last week. Why do you ask?
That's about what I figured. I just wanted to make sure because I care about you. I was thinking of you.
Thank you, sweetie. I'm glad someone cares about me.
All I can think of now is Croc.
Oh, these.
Now I'm thinking of Killer Grok.
Oh, these are my new groks.
I don't think of croc, I think of plock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what was it? I was talking about, like, in the questions and suggestions channel on the GigaBoots Discord, link in the description. Someone was like, you should do Groktober. And I was like, see, that would be a great theme for a month, right? Games I deeply vibe with and understand on an almost spiritual level. Problem, people would assume Grok was a game franchise they've never heard of from, like, Europe.
No, you just have to do all Mars-themed games.
Ah.
You have to dig out the old ZX Specky and play a game where you run around a giant rectangle collecting sausage rolls.
I love every time I run into a European game and I go, you remind me a bit too much of the fake Flash games from HomestarRunner.com.
Oof.
The Amiga was terrible, but if you say that, an Englishman will try to kill you.
I'm still waiting for the ZX Spectrum game where it yells, my head explode when he dies.
Luckily, they won't be very effective at trying to kill you because their police took all their knives, so they only have spoons.
Oh, jeez. That's rough.
Yeah.
And they have to show you the license for the spoon before they can whip it out.
So before we went live, what's up, Bob?
Here I assumed they were all just Russell Crowe. Look in the box, you.
I think Russell Crowe is Australian.
He's not. He's probably not English.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's not English. I don't know if he's Australian. He might be.
He's New Zealand.
There we go.
Okay.
New Zealandin.
He's a New Zealander.
The fake accent they have for South Park wasn't even his. So
Oh, yeah, no.
it's unidentifiable.
It's just clearly Matt Stone or Trey Parker just doing that shitty voice.
One of my favorite South Park bits from the entire show, though.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're Russell Crowe. Oh my God, you're Russell Crowe. If anyone hasn't watched Sassy Justice, I tweeted out the video. You should go search up on YouTube Sassy Justice. It's made by the creators of South Park. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's incredible and life-changing. It's way too funny. Go watch it. Before we went live, I was talking about how I'm sitting here drinking my Mountain Dew Mary Mash-Up. Now, Aggro, mash up, not mash. This is not... This is not a booze flavor Mountain Dew.
So it's you are not, in point of fact, walking a straight line on Mountain Dew Mash and cheap wine.
No, I am not doing that, no. I would be puking, though, if I tasted a Mountain Dew that was flavored like sour mash. That's disgusting. God.
Didn't Jones do, like, turkey and mashed potato flavored soda
Yes.
1 year?
I've heard of that. I have not tried it. It sounds horrifying.
Yeah, that sounds... Look, I was scared enough when we had Pop-Tarts the other day that were Fruit Loop flavored. And it was...
Woo!
And it was like, yeah, this isn't just trying to be fruit. It's nailing the Fruit Loop flavor. Like some guy in the lab went there. It tastes like cherry.
It tastes like fake fruit.
Like, we made this food taste like food flavor additive. Oh, brilliant.
Oh, you nailed it.
How could you do that?
I don't even know, I don't know if Fruit Loops have this, but it tastes like they have a Carnauba wax on them. So
Yes.
This thing tastes like a fruit wax. It doesn't taste like fruit. It doesn't taste like it's just going for that. You have the terrible film in your mouth you get from Fruit Loops.
This is horrible.
Yeah, and we waited months to eat it. And we were going to do it on GigaBoots Eats, but I broke down the other day and went, I don't have time. Fuck. Anyway, we should probably talk about what games we've been playing.
Wait, what? Okay.
It's a first for this podcast, I know. You know what? We'll start with Phil. Hey, Phil, what have you been playing?
So I know Life Trails of Cold Steel 4.
Okay.
A game that was still 100 hours long despite me playing it in effectively double speed. Because I never turned that speed off often. I think it's triple speed in battles.
Jesus.
Now the speed up, I'm pretty sure is something that was added in localization, so it might also speed up the system clock of the game. So it might not be as bad as it seems.
So wait, have you done all of this playtime on your PS5?
No.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, try to use your PS5 to see what it says. See if there's a huge discrepancy. Because you know how it guesstimates.
Yeah.
I find games I play on the PS5, it's a lot closer to accurate on. Meanwhile, PS4, it's like, I don't know, man. Well, I guess you spent 20 hours playing that. Like, no.
And of course, I wasn't staring, at the game the entire time. I'd be like, okay, I ran down a hallway and fought 3 battles. I'll look at the computer for a little bit now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's understandable.
I really enjoyed it. I think it's my favorite of those 4 games. A lot of people imported it and then hated it. And once again, all those people are wrong. which is a really common occurrence. Whenever somebody who speaks Japanese sort of imports a game and says it's bad, they're always wrong.
Works for me.
It's like, wow, you mean you might not understand all the nuances and might have missed things, and
no,
having to work really hard to understand what's going on might cause a different
experience
interpretation of the game than just playing it in your native language.
Let me explain to you the human phenomenon that is you appreciating something more because you work harder for it. Now that applies to narrative.
Well, FromSoft thinks that.
He's my best friend. I can barely understand him.
It's the 4th game it's the 4th game in this series, which is itself part of a larger series, so I can't talk very much about any story elements, obviously, because they won't make any fucking sense.
Okay.
I will say it was actually really satisfying to play a game where after 10 years, when I beat somebody in a boss fight, they don't go, next time I'll show my true power and teleport away. Instead, they just eat shit and get knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay, I might just jump to this one.
Right?
That'd be insane. I also thought it was incredibly funny. Usually deliberately, but there was one moment that was not deliberate, and I cannot spoil it because KZ will listen to this at some point, and he'll probably let's play this game, and I cannot take away his reaction to what will happen from the world.
Yes.
But I laughed so hard, I stopped being able to see for a couple seconds. It was so unbelievably funny, I couldn't breathe. Also, I never want to hear any developer ever bitch about dubbing a game ever again. This game has like 45 playable characters. All of them have a different voice actor. This game has like 120 voice actors in it. They brought in Johnny Young Bosch because he voiced one character's battle grunts in a game from 15 years ago.
Jesus.
They brought him in to voice that character.
Sorry, when you said there were 45 characters, in my mind I went, yeah, and how many of them are Johnny Young Bosch?
It's only one.
Yeah, only one.
I swear.
And there's a couple instances of, okay, I like Derek Stephen Prince is in this game, and it's like, okay, he's this major character, but I also heard him as this minor character in a cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple instances of that. But largely, no, they just got all these fucking voice actors, so I never want to hear any fucking publisher ever again go, Well, you want us to dub this? What do you think? We're made of money like Nippon Ichi Software of America?
Yeah, I was like, isn't this Nippon Ichi? They're known for having.
Ichi stands for our budget.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane that this got dubbed as well as it did.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sega's like, oh, we can't dub Sakura Wars. That game has like 8 characters. That'd
Yeah.
be hard.
We need to find 8 voice actresses. That's impossible.
Looks over at Rolodex from 90s anime dubbing. Yeah, there's only like 4 of these people.
But yeah, it was good. I liked it. And speaking of dubs, the other game I've been playing, which I have not put 100 hours into yet, is Yakuza Like a Dragon. That game is so wildly different from every other Yakuza game, it's incredible. And I don't just mean the gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
which of course is different because it's a turn-based RPG instead of a
Right.
action game. But the protagonist, Ichiban, voiced by Kaiji Tang in English, is such a different character. Not just from Kiryu, but from every playable character in the Yakuza games. Because all the previous ones, even the ones that were supposed to be less badass, like the moneylender in 4 and 5, and in 5 you had a guy who was just who got kicked out of being a baseball star because of scandal. They're still superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they show up and there's 80 guys and they beat the shit out of them. Ichiban is not like that. Like, one of the first things that happens in the game is that he gets drunk, passes out on a park bench, and wakes up with his wallet gone. It's like, oh man. And the police are like, well, you slept on a park bench, you dipshit.
Not sure what to
He's
tell
a
you.
fair cop.
And because you have actual party members, it's not like you just recruit miscellaneous NPCs to be in your party. You have party members
Oh,
that
cool.
are characters.
Good.
So having a party also really changes the tone of the game.
Yeah.
And I realized that this game is the joke that people have told since 2008. Like, oh, Persona's about high school students. When is it going to be burnout middle-aged people? This is that game.
Dope.
I realized it early on in the game. Early on, which is 5 hours before it technically starts. where Ichiban, who is 42 at this point, your friend that you made your homeless friend who is 41 that you became friends with when you woke up in a dumpster in a homeless camp, and your other middle-aged friend who is a disgraced cop, are sitting in a tiny room drinking cheap sake and eating fast food, and are like, just because we're old doesn't mean we can't get our shit together. We're all going to get our shit together. We're all going to make it.
Oh
And I'm like, yes, this is perfect. It's also really great because sometimes you finish fights and one of them will like pop their back and go, oh. And then I brought up the dub. So here's the dubbing thing. This dub is fantastic in terms of the performances and the fact they re-lip synced everything. It is not fantastic in other forms of implementation. So like a bark that in a game where like you'll talk to a character and it's not voiced, but they'll give you like some really brief voice line. Like, this is what the character sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
None of those are dubbed.
What?
Yeah, the Judgment did the same thing.
Weird.
So you'll talk to somebody and they'll be voiced in a cutscene, and then you'll talk to them to try and initiate their minigame or whatever, and they'll say a full ass sentence in Japanese to you.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's so bad. You'd
Also,
think they'd
they
fix
didn't
that.
dub- They didn't dub any of the enemies, so it kind of just comes off like your party are weird tourists beating the shit out of locals.
I'm getting more into it.
It's just, I don't understand why they didn't dub these.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be easy to fill out that. That's like really minor characters with tiny lines.
Because your party members' barks are dubbed.
Oh.
So it'll be like Ichiban going, "What the?" and then an NPC saying a sentence in Japanese. The absolute worst of it is that there's a mini game where Ichiban goes to a vintage movie theater, a theater that shows old movies. And the joke is that he has to try. You have to play a mini game to try to stay awake because he can't fucking stay awake in the movie. He'll talk about the movie in English as the movie's playing, and then you'll get dialogue from the movie, and you won't see the movie. Obviously, you're looking at Ichiban in the theater. That'll be in Japanese.
That's insane.
So you'll get like 3 or 4 lines of the movie that are all voiced in Japanese, and then Ichiban reacting in English.
I mean, is the rest of the stuff subtitled?
Everything's subtitled.
Okay.
Barks aren't though. But they're usually not like some important text. Right. It's usually like, "Hey,
Oro?"
Yeah, something like that.
What kind of Yara was this Joker?
It's just jarring that after making such a big deal about how they were dubbing this, and I think they got back the person, got back Kiryu from 1 to do him in whatever scenes he's in that I don't know what scenes there, but the promotional account tweeted it.
Yeah.
And talking about how they redid all the voice flaps and everything, and that getting fucking George Takei to be a major character. It's like, you guys didn't do this minor stuff?
It has real energy of someone who like say the Clerks cartoon series scene of Leonardo being like, "How do you like my desk? I built it myself." And it's like clearly put together like shit. He goes, "I have all these parts left over." It's like, why did you brag about this? You left the job not finished. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. That seems like a mild disappointment. At least I know that going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured there was no way they'd still have problems like this, because Judgment does the same style of stuff where it's like, oh, this is almost right.
Yeah. Luckily, I can say it hasn't done the Judgment thing where a major gameplay mechanic is just the worst thing in the entire world.
I didn't make it to that.
Like Judgment. No, yeah, you did, Bob. Remember the trailing missions in Judgment?
God, the trailing missions and also the camera missions.
Bob is being awakened.
Oh.
PTSD rising.
But all the usual Yakuza like mini games are in there, but all the new ones that I found at least are really fun. Like the theater one I just mentioned is guys in goat masks who are called RIM, as in rapid eye movement. RIM Rams pop up and try to use magic to put Ichiban to sleep during the movie. And you have to, and they're mapped. It's a reaction game. It's mapped to the D-pad and the face buttons. So you have to hit the buttons as fast as you can and knock them out before they can cast their sleeping spell.
Are you telling me this middle-aged simulator, one of the struggles you have is not falling asleep during a movie?
Yes, and it also it's funny because even the tutorial has jokes in it like, keep Ichiban awake during this movie, which will surely make him a better man. And then it increases one of his like personality stats if you stay awake.
Oh my god.
The other one is since you like the first little chunk of the game, you live in a homeless camp, is collecting cans on a bicycle, and it's like a weird competitive version of Pac-Man.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really fun. It's like you have a grid with cans, which are like the pellets. You also have like big treasure troves of cans, and you have power pellets, which are energy drinks, but you can bank them. So if another rider rams into you, you lose a bunch of cans and lose time because it's timed. But if you turn on your energy drink, you ram them and steal all their cans. There's also a garbage truck driving around that is invincible. It doesn't give a shit if you have an energy drink. It just knocks your ass out. And it's made better by how earnest how Kaiji Ting portrays him. Because he just yells in like the most chipper voice imaginable. "Here comes the can man." But yeah, this game is fantastic. I haven't gotten far enough to where the battles are anything yet. It's mostly just use your normal attack. Although your homeless party member has one of the funniest attacks in any RPG, because he's like the spellcaster, but obviously there's no real magic. So his spell is he throws a bunch of bird seed on them and they get the shit kicked out of them by pigeons.
Oh, Home Alone 2.
But I'm really looking forward to play more of it. I think one of the major antagonistic groups is going to be Puritans, which I can't say I expected.
Like literal Christian Puritans, or just people with puritanical morals?
That one.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's going to be it's a non-profit group called Bleach Japan.
Oh shit.
I don't know if they're going to keep popping up if they were only they're part of a more minor conflict, but it surprised me. It's like, man, this is a villain? This is your villain group? Damn. This definitely, like, the Yakuza series has always had this weird, well, not weird, but like seemingly weird sub-thread of Japan treats the homeless really badly. And this game puts it at like the forefront. Like all like the socio-political things that were in the former Yakuza games, like Japan treats Asian immigrants like shit. Japan lets gray legal areas exist and like keeps like these people that have to exist in it down. And this is pushing all that to the front.
Wow.
So it's very different than a really insane Yakuza plot that sometimes might involve a castle coming out of the ground. Which is a thing that happens in Yakuza 2.
And Yakuza 2 goes really weird sometimes, doesn't it? Because doesn't he fight the tigers right after that?
He fights them in the castle.
Okay.
I mean, in Yakuza 5, one of the characters fights a gigantic, like, 20-foot long bear.
Now, okay, wait. Is that bear, like, proportional for being 20 feet long, or is it like a regular sized bear stretched out to 20 feet long?
It's proportional. It's like the Japanese devil bear that has rampaged on this mountain for decades and killed this one guy's father and whatever, and then you punch it in the brain.
Sounds like a solid strategy.
And Yakuza 6 also has something on par with the castle coming out of the ground. But yeah, I'm really excited to keep playing more of it. It's really impressive how they made a game that is so tonally completely different, yet is still like very obviously the same franchise. In a perfect world, I wish I could have waited for the next gen update, but maybe I'll play it again. Maybe I'll play it a second time.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
There's some form of New Game Plus because it says it right on the menu. New Game Plus. You can't pick this yet. You didn't beat it. It's right out. Right there.
What? I hope they get save transfers working, because that was the thing.
Yeah, so do I.
That's one of the big reasons I just didn't want to pick it up, even though it's really cheap. It's like $35 in places right now, so it's tempting.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play anything else, Phil?
Nothing more than the legally required amount of Genshin Impact.
Did you get Zhongli?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I did not expect that. I hope
He's
you didn't
like,
spend
of
too
course.
much money.
No, it only took like 4 rolls. I didn't have to spend any money.
Bob, a gentleman would never ask.
I pulled up the banner for this week and I was like, I have 2 of those characters and I'm not that excited for Zhongli. I shouldn't roll on this at all.
I wanted him, but it doesn't help that Earth characters kind of seem not great right now.
You know, I got a few Earth characters and I don't think either of them are good. So
it just seems like maybe they're supposed to have more synergy with the characters of the element that aren't in the game yet, which is the life element.
Oh, I didn't even know there was another element that hadn't been implemented.
Yeah, there's 7 elements, but there's only 6 that have characters in them. Sometimes you'll fight like enemies that are life element because they make like the thorn walls.
Oh, so it's like grass and stuff.
Yeah, it's like grass, and you can see its logo down at the bottom of the screen whenever you load the game because it has the logos for each element.
Okay.
But yeah, I kind of have to wonder what the point is of them at the moment when I can be like, okay, now you're frozen. Now I'm gonna hit you with a fire, which causes the melt status, which causes a shitload of damage. and I'll just do that over and over and over again. or I'll use water and then ice and freeze them, and so they can't move and attack.
Right.
Or ice and electricity, and their defense gets halved. It's just hard. Or fire, and like I don't understand the earth synergy with the other elements, so they seem less good. But that's all I played.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Aggro.
Yo.
Do you play video games?
I mean, should the occasion call for it? Yeah, it's been known to happen.
Okay. Has the occasion occurred in the last weekish?
Yeah, I actually played less than what I'm assuming is the legally required amount of Genshin Impact.
Okay.
No, we need to get Dr. Aggro's take on every game he's played since last time he showed up on Big Thing.
Oh no!
Let's see.
I don't even remember when that was.
7 months ago.
The last game I talked about was that puzzle game on the PS4 whose name I can't remember. So I'm gonna have to find that and the date, and then we'll go down the list.
Okay, maybe this was a mistake.
It's like its own Big Think New Year's thing, like Game of the Year extravaganza.
It's like 5 hours long, and it's like C-SPAN because it's just me in a room, and I'm talking a lot more slowly and softly about the various video games that I've come to play since then.
Camera occasionally cuts to me drinking water and staring.
Every now and then some right-wing nutjob calls in to shout about random nonsense. Anyway. So I downloaded Genshin Impact because I'm like, oh, I hear it runs better on the PS5. I guess I'll try it. And
It sure does.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. I have a limit of how often a game forces me to go into the menu and into a sub-menu to show me a thing in the first 15 minutes of touching the game.
Yeah.
And I fucking hit it with this because I'm like, hey, I don't know what 3 of these nouns mean, and I've collected like 6 different things, and I don't know what they are. And then I thought, I haven't checked in on Warframe yet this gen. So I did. I basically, I will go back and actually try Genshin Impact at some point. But
I need to try Warframe. I promised myself that I'd try it when it came out on next gen.
Yeah. I had because I had downloaded it and tried it. And I'm like, oh, this really ain't much. That's really disappointing. And then 2 days later, I saw tweets and shit like, Warframe now out for the PS5. I'm like, oh, they didn't patch it. They released a new version. Oh, shit. So I downloaded the PS5 version, and holy fuck, that's an upgrade. Resolution and frame rate, lighting and shadows are sick. Environment, the amount of shit that's on screen, the particle effects. They put adaptive triggers into the game, the rumble, it's all real nice.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Oh, they put the adaptive triggers in?
Yeah, I pulled out the Brett and it just went on auto fire and it just started giving that little kickback.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's
the good
fucking
shit.
good. It's also it's the start of a gen. It's time to check back in on Warframe. Man, there's a lot of stuff in that game now. I went down to some new planet on the map that's not really a planet, and a robot with a skull in it starts giving me fully voiced and animated lines in the middle of a cutscene, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He leads me I have to follow a waypoint through this open world level to a social hub and then take quests from a fully animated character.
Yeah,
that's
not Warframe.
That's a little different from what I played 7 years ago.
The last time I checked in on Warframe, I'm like, wow, they turned all of these complicated menus into a ship. That's neat. Now I've got a dog, and part of that ship is corrupted with some kind of weird infestation, and I don't know, man.
One day, Dark Sector 2 will just be in Warframe.
I keep waiting for the Magic the Gathering block based on Warframe.
That'd actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Bob, you're saying they're going to pull an Alan Wake thing with this, and we're going to have the Warframe Dark Sector experience expansion?
We'll finally get the conclusion to that story, because I'm pretty sure the end of Dark Sector, if I remember right,
a sequel tease.
It was a sequel tease with the main villain getting away.
Yeah, that sounds like a 7th gen game, all right.
Yeah.
Got to tell you, it's been really fun walking around these new social areas and seeing everybody's crazy Warframes with all the new designs of the particle effects going off, and I'm in my PS4 launch mag that I colored green. What's up, guys? We're both 10-0. Yeah, we're the same.
We're all cool here.
I've really got to find out where I can look up what my abilities on that Warframe do, because I cannot remember. I keep hitting that button and shit happens, but...
Yeah, I'm just going to have to come back to it and feel like it's a completely different game. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my sanity trying to compare it to what I played 7 years ago.
Yeah, I assume there's more than one hallway to run now.
Yeah, no, there's... Oh my god. Holy shit, the area design in this game has gone nuts, especially on the PS5. Like where I was, the Necrolisk. Like giant white marble gilded buildings overrun with glowing red fungus is... Ugh.
I'm just going to be sitting there having a fucking seizure over the fact... Like, this game's free for anyone to try, and I bought Godfall for $70.
Yeah, man, in hindsight, you got fucking played.
Yes.
And I keep coming back to Warframe every few years to just mess around with it a little, because it is just so much goddamn fun to play. Like, moment to moment, running and gunning is just really goddamn fun. It's an amazing concept, but there it is.
I mentioned it on Twitter. And I was curious. I wanted to bring this sentiment here. I said that most everyone that people know with PS5s are really impressed by the haptic triggers and the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, but they don't want to talk about it because you either sound like you're bullshitting people, you're an insane fanboy, or you're an idiot, or all three. But when you sit there and you're like, yeah, the adaptive triggers and shit are in Warframe, that is really genuinely exciting to hear, because that shit in COD is really, really dope.
Yeah, it just makes the game more engaging. Like the DualSense rules. Like shit, when you're playing Demon Souls, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but anytime an enemy lights a firebomb, you feel it. It has a specific rumble signature to let you know it's happening. It's amazing.
There's that giant almost like tree-sized blood vessel in that one area. I can't remember the level, but you can feel which way the heartbeat is relative to you. It pulses from your left hand to your right hand.
Yeah, the first time
direction.
You really feel directionality on the vibration. It's amazing.
It's real fun shit. It's kind of the for Sackboy. The haptic feedback is screen space relative. So if there's a boulder rolling from the left side of the screen to the right side, you feel it travel across your hand smoothly.
Nice.
It's actually a pretty cool concept because it lets you know where the danger is coming from if you didn't visually notice it.
Mm-hmm.
But just like Warframe's already had such an insane glow up.
Yeah.
Since 7 years ago, to also hear that it supports this feature relatively well is like an extra layer of like, dude, I'm pretty excited. I actually already downloaded it, but I haven't logged in yet.
Mm-hmm. Oh, loading in is so goddamn fast.
So, okay.
I bet.
It's like, oh, right, I can control my shit. Oh, it's over. Damn.
We need to talk about this. So Call of Duty has crossplay now, right? And this is the thing we've all been fighting for. And
Oops.
Yeah, we got it just
that finger, you monkey bastard.
It's you go online to Digital Foundry, they're like, hey, by the way, if you're in a PS5 exclusive game, a thing you can't arrange unless you know everyone you're playing with, it loads in 2.1 seconds. Elsewise, it's 20.
When
and the thing is, like, you never experience that unless you do matchmaking and you jump into a pre-existing game, and then it's like you just had whiplash.
Yeah, it's magic when you get put in a game that's halfway through and just like instantly you're there.
It's fucking nuts. I have to wonder how many games will continue to come out where they have thought in the loading screens. Like you were saying, Warframe lets you control the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just completely thrown out the window on next gen.
Like Immortals Rise of Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was thinking, like,
Phoenix
with God damn it. With the ship controlling the loading screen, I'm like, oh yeah, Destiny did that too. And then I had this horrible thought. The more kludged and glowed up Warframe becomes,
Mm-hmm.
the more it fills out the silhouette of what Destiny was supposed to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Oh no,
not something I
I
expected.
didn't follow Destiny at any point, so I don't know this comparison.
Oh no, that's been the thought for years now of like, oh, is Warframe what Destiny actually wanted to be?
And it's
This is
like
weird.
And Warframe's doing great to succeed in pulling that off.
Mhm.
Destiny was kind of held back by being made by, a big box publisher who wanted to have a very normal model.
Yeah, that game got
Yeah.
miseried in the ankle.
Next gen update next week. I'm excited to try it.
I am too.
Oh yeah, I also need to try that. Damn.
Yep.
And see, and this is fucked up because we're talking about, when I go play Warframe, it's going to feel like a completely different game. So will Destiny 2, weirdly enough. They're apparently patching out most of the intro. Like, they already patched out the exact intro from launch. But they're apparently patching it again to even further remove the content from 2, I think. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, sounds like that whole villain, it's the beginning of 2, is just gone.
That's nuts.
It is.
I can't.
We don't get to experience the plot of Halo Infinite.
But that one mission where you're like running on the outside of a ship and the sun's right fucking there was totally rad.
It looked cool as shit, yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's really weird when Destiny's removing these things.
Destiny 2 is all coming back to me. Like, oh no, Gaul kidnapped the speaker. I'm like, guys, you forgot to make the speaker a character before you put him in peril.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot about that whole tangent. I never finished 2.
Yeah, I've owned 2 for years and never really played it.
Oh god, it kept cutting away to scenes of the speaker being like tortured. It was just comical.
What?
What?
I'm that guy who had the app and read all those fucking cards in one. And I'm like, guys, you forgot to make him a thing.
My God.
Does he have any kind of political power? Is he a religious? He just has a weird mask. That's his whole thing. Shax is more of a character than him.
Yes, he is. Shax is way more of a character. Oh, man. God damn it.
I'm really sad we don't get to experience that now. I want Dan to have gone through that too, and I want to finish it.
Yeah, no, that sounds like something I would have been better off for experiencing. Not that it would have been good to experience. These are two different things. Enriching.
Maybe we need to play it now.
They already patched it out.
Oh, they already patched out that part?
When the new consoles
no.
came out, that expansion dropped.
Oh, yeah. So that took it out, and then we're just getting the next gen update.
We're just getting the next gen update next week. Or the week this comes out. Did you want to say anything else about Warframe, Dr. Aggro? Or we just wander away? No.
Well, I did play a couple other things because, new gen, I've been dabbling. I went back and got the platinum for Astros because that game is concentrated fucking joy.
Yes, it is.
Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. It was so weird to play that game and be like, oh my God, is this what hardcore Nintendo fans feel like all the time? This curated and pandered to?
Fucking starts arcing with electricity like he's Cole McGrath. Oh my God, is this joy?
I've been trying to play Miles Morales.
Oh, that phrasing is interesting. What's up?
Well, I bought it like a couple days after launch, and the PS5 version crashed on boot every time.
What?
A couple days later, the game updated, and the PS4 version would boot. No! I left it alone for like a week, and we got a firmware update, and now the PS5 version booted, and I got about to where like I was in the PS4 version because I picked it up for a couple hours because holy fuck, I needed to play it. And like I'm in that first VR training scene, and it crashed. I'm like, well, shit. So I waited a couple days and I booted it back up, and I'm right in the middle of that VR training scene. It saved me there, and I played it for 10 minutes and it crashed.
Jesus Christ! I thought I had a rough time with that game.
Yeah. It's been not great. I basically just put it on the back of my list. Like, I'll come back in a while. Maybe it'll be fixed.
Now, I'm not going to condescend to you because I've spent over 17 hours dealing with Xbox customer support over the last week.
Yep.
I assume you've uninstalled and reinstalled it, of course.
Yeah. Back when it was not booting, I deleted and re-downloaded it a few times.
Jesus. Okay.
And you aren't using the cards to boot it, are you?
No, that's weird.
That's
Apparently.
that's what caused my number one issue. That kind of ruined parts of the game.
Huh. Weird.
Yeah. It caused a glitch where you get stuck in the suit in every cutscene. So there are multiple cutscenes where I'm just confused. There are multiple other cutscenes where you can't see the expressions on people's faces.
No.
There are costume reveals that didn't work at all.
Oh fuck. That's so good.
Bad.
It's real bad.
Oh, it was. Let me tell you. Once I knew how the glitch happened, I had a lot of fun with it. I've made some videos I need to send you.
Oh, delightful.
When you're done with the game. That's really unfortunate. This is why I made that tweet where I was like, "Hey, guys, if you don't have an next-gen console, feel better because these things are hot."
Yeah.
Yeah, there are problems for sure.
Fucking fajitas hitting the table.
Yes, a little bit, yeah. The PS5 it has a few glitches with games like that. Devil May Cry 5 has an interesting error where I'm playing the game, the music stops, Nero stops moving, my controller does nothing, and then it's like, "Hey man, I crashed. Do you want to send this to Sony?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. That was a really calm crash. I've never seen a game just stop moving the character, turn off the music, and crash before that." It really eased me into that. The PS5 OS pops up again. I hit to play Devil May Cry. I'm at the same point, and I go, like literally the same point. And I'm like, did the OS crash? Wait.
Yeah, I had that same issue. I have no idea what's up with that mini crash. It's bizarre.
I think the OS may have crashed on a separate layer from the game, which is something I find inconceivable, but that's really strange.
It's a brave new world.
Yeah. And over on Xbox, things seem okay-ish, seem fine, except for quick resume is a nightmare and will just crash randomly, losing all your progress.
Ooh.
A feature like that needs to work 100% of the time, otherwise you can never trust it.
Also, the problem you have where the whole thing just is basically worthless.
I don't know what you're talking about, Bob. I don't own an Xbox Series X. I have no son.
You're shunning a box called Xbox?
Yes.
You're shipping a box called Xbox to reform school.
For anyone who missed the Twitter thread, which you should really go look up because I'm not going to recount the whole thing here. Absolute nightmare where no game that is smart delivery can download at all. None. Zero. I uploaded a stream to YouTube, the VOD. I transferred it over here, where I show how that looks and how I will never download Halo the Master Chief Collection ever. I did hours and hours of customer support with Xbox, and they insist it's the console. And I'm like, if that's the case, then why did the One X start doing this a week before the Series X came out with Gears 5, a smart delivery game? They won't acknowledge that. So, guys, this is the situation Xbox has stuck me in. If I don't send them my Xbox, they can't prove there isn't a goblin in my SSD. So they're going to blame the hardware.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give them the box I bought $500 for 3 weeks in order to win an argument with them.
Will you win the argument?
That's a really great question. See, in order to win, Microsoft has to fix their OS, and when have they ever?
Yeah, I'm assuming that the win state is you being able to use an Xbox. I don't think that's going to happen.
Probably not. I'm already right. So in as much as winning the argument on who's right, I've already won because it's happening on the One X. It can't be the Series X exclusively hardware-wise if it's now happening on the One X for the same games. The customer support guy actually admitted this is happening to other people. He was like, yeah, other people are having this problem too. And I'm like, oh, did sending in their box fix it for them? Pregnant pause. So in order to ship your box to us, and I'm like, no.
What?
Congratulations on your future shipment of a refurbished 360.
Oh, whoopsie-doo.
Sorry, we still had a few of those in the back.
It was the Elite. It was black colored. I got confused.
So we sent you a Series S.
Microsoft's new stupid piece of shit that doesn't even do the fucking thing it's goddamn supposed to.
Hey, the Series S can run RetroArch, apparently.
This is impressive. No pre-existing computer can do this.
Well, yeah, but it's not a computer. You took it right to your TV, and that makes it somehow different and superior to a computer.
Yes, that makes it next gen. If I get a Series S, if I have to lay my eyes on a Series S, I will become a volcano of rage. If they ship me a Series S, I will ship them me and stab them. Man, we really got off the rails. Sorry, everyone. Aggro, did you have any other games you wanted to talk about?
I downloaded that Worms game that's free on PS Plus right now.
God damn it, I've been meaning to do that. I'm going to register that while you talk about it.
Yeah, I just did it for like, oh, it's a Worms game, and I booted up the tutorial. I'm like, oh my god, there are adaptive triggers in this.
Casey said that, I'm like, oh shit.
They just improve every game, and I've got to tell you, in that Worms game, like you've got a pistol, and you've got a long travel, and then a crisp on the back of it. It's nice.
Ugh. Does it operate like other Worms game where it's all about, adjusting the angle and stuff, like Gunbound?
I didn't get out of the tutorial, but I get the it's Worms Rumble. I get the impression that it's not a regular Worms game. I think it might be like an arena combat style thing, like everybody's going at once.
Yeah, so that's not a typical.
Yeah, the terrain didn't seem destructible.
Yeah, I remember that. That actually shocked me when I saw that. I was like, but that's the point of a Worms game, to be like Gunbound, which is like Worms.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone watching is like, what the heck is Gunbound? Why are they referencing this bizarre
guys.
Korean game?
I didn't hear about Worms till years later.
Yeah, I know.
See, exactly.
Worms is like Gunbound, which is like Worms, which is ultimately like Missile Command.
Or Kong.
Or Cog, yeah. Yeah, if we want to go full boomer, that's
Wait, not Missile Command. What the fuck was that game called? Just Tanks?
There was a tank-like game. Kong is really close to what we're talking about. That was a DOS game.
I actually played a lot of Kong as a kid.
Scorched Earth is what I'm thinking of. Scorched Earth was
okay.
the original one.
Yeah. We got this far into this episode. We didn't acknowledge that KSB's been replaced by Dr. Aggro.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even acknowledge it once.
Oh, weird.
I'm sure it's fine.
We thought we would change things up for season 7, so for now, the KZ will be played by Dr. Aggro. And soon...
KZ's locked in a cage in the basement, and we're going to do a reality show where he has to try to escape.
Ooh. Raw.
He's fine. He's got water, and I turned on some Dragon Ball Super.
But yeah, KZ wasn't feeling well, so we had Aggro sub for him this podcast.
What are you doing putting out water? You know he needs a bowl of Aju.
God.
Jesus Christ.
I will not participate in that.
So, quick editor's note by KZ. Bob is right.
He's fine. I got him 3 roast beef and cheddars and his favorite anime's on. So Worms Rumble. It's okay. It's all right.
I mean, the first half of the tutorial is, yeah.
Oh, cool. Great. Awesome. Thank you.
It's looking good so far.
I'm really optimistic about it. Did you play anything else?
I am optimistic about things.
Oh, shit. He's a perfect replacement.
I think this video game good.
Bob, I don't think he has any other games to talk about. I think we can move on.
Okay.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
I booted up a little bit of Soul Calibur 6 to play Hwang.
Oh, yeah, they added Hwang.
Finally got in.
Right, Eileen the Crow, I remember.
They gave him a super weird new outfit where he's like a investigator, like for the Korean government, I think.
What?
Yeah, that's what's up with his bizarro outfit where he's in a crow or something.
He's investigating Yarnum blood.
But he does have a regular outfit too, so he can play
what
classic.
the fuck is this outfit?
Yes, it's very cool.
He's like assassin tuxedo. Like I don't. How do you describe this? If Zorro was a dynasty warrior?
Yeah, I guess that he's somewhere like some mix of that. Now I kind of want that. Oh no.
Man, these Warriors games are really hitting at the bottom of the barrel with their IPs.
I was really surprised looking up the backstory for Hwang because I was like, he's been missing since I believe 3. Apparently, he was only in the first game because Korea they didn't want to portray a samurai, so they replaced Mitsurugi with him.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's like some Korean sword wielder.
Oh, I hadn't thought
interesting.
And then they just implemented him as a regular character later on. And he's been missing, I believe, since 3, which has been like, that was a PS2 game.
Yeah, that was 2005.
Yeah, it was like, it's 15 years.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all. Let me make sure he didn't show up in 4 and I just forgot.
He showed up in the PSP game.
He might have.
How could you forget Broken Destiny?
No, he was not playable in Broken Destiny, though. He was in it, though, as a non-playable character.
I actually was just making a joke that Bob's blind spot would be the PSP game. My next joke was going to be the Wii one.
He was in Soul Calibur Unbreakable Soul, the mobile card game.
Okay.
I didn't know that existed.
But for this one, they like kind of redesigned his combat a little bit. They added, he uses like magic talismans along with his sword techniques now, and it's very cool. He can like make a whip out of them of energy. He throws it out and then can do various moves based on it. Like he can shoot, he throws it out like a foot or a couple feet in front of him and shoots a lightning bolt downward on it. Or he can use it to like do a special wind gust. It's lots of neat stuff. I really like what they did with him for this one game.
That's really exciting, especially since that game loads faster than Tekken on next gen consoles.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
I need to play more of it.
We need a next gen version of every fighting game, basically, just so they load within 2 seconds, like COD.
We really do. If they could do that, that'd be really amazing. I still need to try Mortal Kombat after that update because.
Oh god damn it! Yeah, we've been meaning to do that.
We own the disc. We just forgot every week.
Keep forgetting to insert the disc.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually blew through most of my PS5 catalog, so now I'm down to Sackboy. So I'm getting a bit more space for things like that, you know, like checking out Mortal Kombat 11 and Soul Cal 6 with the new character.
Right. I also booted up Dark Souls 3 because
you played Demon Souls.
Yeah, because I played Demon Souls. Want to compare it to the newest thing. Other than that,
yeah, that makes sense.
That game running at 60 is really great. It locks it basically.
Oh, good.
Nice.
And I'm not too much spoilers for future content, but I'm liking Dark Souls 3 a lot more than Demon Souls.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how much you miss certain things going back.
I mean, this makes
it.
sense. One's the beginning of, you know, a series.
You mean like feeling like a video game?
Let's say falling attacks are just the start of what makes it feel a lot better.
Oh, wait. What? Falling attacks?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah, dropping attacks are one of the best. We were introduced to Dark Souls 1.
Ooh, once again.
So coming back to this one and not being there, I was surprised and got myself killed several times.
I have also played a ton of Demon Souls. I will not talk about it here because I want to talk about it on future content. But Bob, I sat there and there were moments where I was like, oh, that would be cool to do here. But I guess Dark Soul games don't do that. That's just Dragon's Dogma.
Wow.
Because I knew it existed in Dragon's Dogma and it didn't exist in Demon Souls. So that's all I had to go off of.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I go up to ledges in Demon Souls and be like, oh man, I could do a great plunging attack here.
If I had one.
Fuck you, magic user.
And the only other thing I put a significant amount of time into this week is, of course, Demon's Souls, but we don't want to talk about that because content.
Yep.
But Immortals, Phoenix Rising, I got it right.
Okay, good job.
Hooray.
Technically, you also played COD, and we should do a quick segment about COD. But talk about Immortals first.
Yeah, I put in several more hours after that stream. Completely unbalanced the game almost immediately after I got enough skill points to do it, because eventually you get like this big hammer attack, which does way more damage than anything else and almost makes everything else obsolete.
Good.
Yeah, so then I also found a thing where you can upgrade your potions, so my potions now completely heal me every potion.
So it sounds like you get really strong in that game.
You do. You get a little overpowered, which is kind of okay. But you know how this game is basically Breath of the Wild, for people unacquainted. You know how Breath of the Wild does that thing where it gives you the intro island, gives you every skill you will need for every other trial, like all the little mini dungeons, mini temples across the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this game doesn't do that, and yet you can go to any of these dungeons and it won't warn you don't have something.
Oh.
So you'll just be sitting there trying to solve a thing that you literally can't do yet?
Yeah, I bashed my head against it for like 20 minutes straight, and then I looked in the menu at my skills, and it was like, oh yeah, if you buy this skill, it lets you lift heavier stuff. And it's like, oh,
that is vile.
Yeah, so I basically turned the game off and will never boot it again.
Fair.
This is like my nightmare version of that problem you see in a lot of games that are 3D platformers with collectibles, where it's just like, we put these stars or whatever in a numerical order, and you can see you missed one. What we haven't told you is you need to do something else in order to get that one. Which, as someone with the official strategy guide for Mario Odyssey, that was a nightmare in that strategy guide, because it's just random ones.
Weird.
It'll be like, you can get 1 through 4, 5 and 6 you need to do on the second loop. Yeah, it's just random ones. I'm like, what were they thinking?
Yeah, I was like, did the game itself have a numerical order to the stars? I can't remember.
I think it did, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not positive. I have no idea, because, you know, I would just do a ton of shines or whatever. I can't remember. Moons. And then I would just be like, I feel like there's one that I need to get because this UI is sort of highlighting that. And then I would look at the strategy guide and it would be like,
no.
This is for later. Okay.
I also got to, this game does have boss battles and like a big, I guess you'd call it dungeon. Like it's their replacement for a Zelda, like full end of area dungeon.
Okay.
That was incredibly bad. It's literally 4 of the old other temples, like mini dungeons taped together unceremoniously.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
I'm just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about if fucking Breath of the Wild had done that, it was like, good job, you turned your Switch upside down.
Yeah, if each of the beasts was literally 4 temples, I would have had a stroke. I'll still do this thing where in a Zelda game, typically the reason you cannot solve a puzzle is very logical. Like, okay, you can't shoot an arrow at this thing because there's a seal around it, like a cage around it. You can't get your arrows through.
Yeah, it's very binary.
In this game, it'll literally just, that thing will turn red and have a lock icon over it because it's a video game.
Wait.
So I get fire arrows that can destroy these like root heart things.
Okay.
They only work for no reason on the one that's in that area that I could easily hit. Whereas I could totally actually shoot it out and end the level early by shooting another one. It decides that one is locked off and can't be hit by my fire arrow for arbitrarily no reason.
Damn.
Well, because you're not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it made me very upset.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I've never seen dungeon design this bad in a Zelda game. Ever.
Well, I mean, we haven't played Minish Cap. I don't know. Maybe Capcom was on some shit.
Maybe. It's still the best Ubisoft game in years.
Okay, thank you, Bob, for your Phoenix Rising I gotta ask. Everybody's been asking me. Now I need to ask you on their behalf, Bob. Does she become the Phoenix in this one, or is that going to come in shadow of the Phoenix?
I think I'm helping a Phoenix. I think a Phoenix is hanging out with me, so I don't think I get to become the Phoenix.
Okay.
Is this the one where they kiss?
Oh no, he's playing too well.
He's a perfect replacement. This is kind of horrifying, actually.
Also, the boss fight was really bad. It was filled with a bunch of attacks that didn't have proper hitboxes at all, and just hurt me for no reason. Man, maybe I should reevaluate if it's Ubisoft's best game in years. I don't know anymore.
I know that the way they steer their games aren't exactly in line with what you or I like about video games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be honest, I think I may like I just bought Watch Dogs Legions.
Yeah.
I think I like Watch Dogs 2 more than I liked most games from them the past 7 years, but I didn't give Far Cry a fair shake even once.
Oh, that's true. There is Far Cry. I always like those a lot more than the rest of their output.
Right. Like, I've played enough of Far Cry to be like, this kind of feels better than most of their games.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making it a first-person shooter helps in that sense. And I haven't really given... Like, I've played the other Far Cry games, but I haven't played a huge amount aside. Like, I put the most time into 2, and that was them just getting started.
Right.
Because for people who don't realize, they bought Far Cry from Crytek and then made Far Cry 2. So I don't know. I'm going to give Watch Dogs Legion a try. I'm going to give that new Far Cry, assuming people are like, hey, this is good, right?
Yeah, I have a lot more confidence in the next Far Cry than I did in the last one. For some reason, 5 just being set in America wasn't that exciting to me.
Every time someone reminds me the last one was 5, I want to go lie down in the street because in my head, 3 and 4 are the same game.
3 is so boring that I just pluck it out of the mentally.
Okay.
5's the only one I ever played.
Well, there we go. It is perfect. But yeah, I'm pretty interested in checking out Far Cry 6, I guess is the number.
Yeah, 6 is what they're going with.
Look, man, I'm scared. I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully that turns out all right. And I'm excited for Watch Dogs Legions. I find the concepts in it pretty good. Like, you know, the whole character system.
That's very neat. Like, that's really interesting.
Right, and I'm hoping that works out well. So I'm going to check that out, and that'll be our next Ubisoft game to give a chance. So hopefully they do another one of the Phoenix-style games, and they polish it up a shitload.
Yeah, I want to have hope even for that DLC that's new character, new area. Like, that could be good. There's a chance.
I just want... Look, my bar for the DLC isn't high. I just want a trailer that just says the word China as much as possible. Aggro, have you heard about this DLC?
Only from the last big thing.
Okay, yeah, it's just separate character placed in China, has nothing to do with the main plot of this game, and I'm like, this is really funny.
Is the Phoenix in it?
Presumably no.
Yeah, it seems like no, but who knows? Maybe she comes in, or he or she comes in at the end, and then they say we're starting a new initiative,
the Phoenix program.
Well, I mean,
Phoenix program.
China's got Phoenix Legends too, right?
It's true.
Technically,
yeah, they did. I learned from Mulan, now on Disney Plus for $30.
Hey, we're not getting paid. How dare you?
That's hilarious because HBO's gonna have every big release movie next year.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's kind of insane. I also saw someone who was like, this is great because we proved with some of the releases this year that if you provide people a way to buy a movie near launch digitally instead of going to the theaters, they'll do it. And I'm like, yeah,
which
buy.
Movie proved that?
They were trying to argue the Trolls movie. Look, that's not even the point. My point of contention is buying a movie is completely different from entering a long-term relationship with a subscription platform. One of these things being a lifelong pour, I am extremely against.
Right.
But I need to see The Matrix 4, so.
Nothing's going to stop that.
Nothing. It's inevitable.
I keep forgetting that exists.
It doesn't seem real, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's the mode I'm in too. They insisted that was going to happen, and I'm like, next year? You sure about that, champ?
Like it was
Yeah,
inevitable.
I have a feeling that's gonna slide.
It was inevitable that somebody was going to figure out, well, if we never release these movies, it's going to be a long time before anybody checks to see if I actually made a movie. So I think I could make a little money here.
True. Anything else, Bob? Or are we talking about COD?
I guess we can talk about COD. I don't really have anything
Okay,
else.
so Bob finally got through the story mode too. We're not going to spoil the shit out of it, but Bob came away with similar conclusions to me of the end of that game has no money.
Yeah, that game is not done, unfortunately.
I was like, maybe this is me. Maybe I don't have a fair judgment for what a Call of Duty campaign ends like. Bob gets there and he's like, why are these endings like a fourth of a level? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no. That after an amazing last year was Modern Warfare, like that game is great, an amazing campaign. This was hilarious.
I still think it's really neat what it does with more open-ended level design and other things. Lots of dialogue choices and the cool, like when you get into the dialogue options, the mocap performance is insane. Like if this game had no shooting, right, and it just had a whole game that was built on that like a visual novel, that would be intensely awesome because these performances look incredible. Like at one point you're talking to Woods and Mason and it's just really funny watching those two play off of each other and respond to your dialogue.
Oh yeah, that was a really good one.
There's a dialogue choice that leads up to, Mason teeing up Woods to describe a prior Black Ops game, Black Ops 1. He's like, oh boy, sit yourself down. Woods is going to be on his shit for a while. And then he only talks for about, I don't know, 20 to 30 seconds. And then Mason just goes, wow, you kept it under 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, that is impressive because Black Ops 1 is a nightmare. Just describing that game's plot is a bit of a fucking mess. But yeah, so this game does go pretty Black Ops for a moment in the plot.
Yes.
And then it ends shortly thereafter. I still think it's a really neat campaign. I'm sure it's not as good as last year's because I hear so many glowing things about last year's. I've seen enough footage of last year's where it's really impressive. But since it has like a lot of the branching stuff and a lot of open level stuff, like Bob tackled at least one level completely different from me.
Right.
That one was the most open-ended, where it's like, hey, you need to get this information about this thing in order to pass it over to this team in time, and you're knee-deep in the KGB. So you have multiple different ways about going about this. It's pretty funny. I don't want to spoil what I did or what Bob did.
Okay, well, I mean, like, no spoilers, but you've got to tell me by the end of this game, I assume it's made apparent. Did we start the fire?
We didn't start the fire. We just put or gasoline everywhere. So you can't blame us when it catches fire, okay? It's really not on us. Aside from that, I'm not sure. Bob, did you want to talk about anything specific with Call of Duty other than like I've been enjoying the multiplayer. Like I think it's really fucking solid.
The multiplayer is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I will keep talking about how good that gun customization is. It's really good.
How good is it?
7 attachments. That's good.
That's pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
I could put a red dot sight on my revolver.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I had some stupid shit on my Magnum and cackled. It's really impressive. Guys, late breaking news as of 10 minutes ago, and I wish I was making this up. Kratos is getting added to Fortnite.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's terrible.
I don't know. My reaction is, was he not?
He was not in Fortnite prior to this, no. But, yeah, anyway. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, Bob?
I don't think so.
Okay. I played Bugsnax.
Cool.
Always a good choice.
Aggro, you have also beaten some Bugsnax?
I have indeed.
Maybe we should gather and talk about playing Bugsnax at some point.
That sounds like a plan.
I will touch on it lightly here, though. Really fun mechanically. You get all these devices to help you catch the Bugsnax, like a launch pad and a suction cup you can use to tie two different things together, like run a line across midair to trip up birds and shit. It's really neat going into these environments and finding different ways to catch different enemies. Some enemies are really, really fast, so you need to figure out, like, they're too fast to be caught by your capture device normal trap on the ground. So you need to figure out how to slow them down. Maybe something in the environment. Maybe you get a different bug snack to attack them. It's pretty cool and really fun. And one of the most surprising parts, which you've probably, if you've watched any of the reviews for this game, is that the characters are very well developed in their relationships with each other and why they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of them have a really good reason building up their backstory, and also their relationships with each other, because the village is full of a diverse cast of characters. I think it's some pretty well done writing, and between the charm of it, how well that's done, and the mechanics of it, I really enjoy that game. I think it's spectacular. It is $25, and it's not a short game, I don't think. I spent 12 and a half hours beating it, and I got 85% of the bug snacks. So, you know, if that's too short for a game for some people out there, I'm sure maybe that's too much money. Aggro, did you want to talk about impressions and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, when you talk about the character writing, it's developed to the point where it almost feels weird, like these are two games that got stuck together. But it ends up to where, like, the characterization is so well developed in the scenario, and, you know, the bug snacks half of the game is so much fun that it does end up they feed off of each other, and it creates a remarkable experience. And also, Beffica is a fucking goddess and did nothing wrong ever.
You can't tell by her name alone that Aggro's full of shit. There's only one character I genuinely do not like in the entire cast, and I waited until the last minute to go rescue them, and then had to do all their side missions immediately. So
Who was it?
it was the fucking spiritualist. I forgot her name. I don't like her. She's like, bug snacks are sin. You should be without the toxins of bug snacks. Quick.
Fuck you, I'm gonna eat this guy made of sweet potato fries.
It's
Like,
worse
if
than
you
that
can
because
find me a regular plant or animal on this island, I'll fucking eat it.
Yes, that is part of the problem with what she's saying. But also, she's like, I have this donation box. Donate bug snacks into it to purify yourself of the toxins. Then you show up the next day and her arm's a French fry. So, like,
It's like, fuck you, I'm gonna go donate it to the little Weasley guy.
Yeah,
Or little Stimpy guy.
oh, okay, Philbo.
that's right.
Yeah. No, not
not
Bilbo,
Bilbo.
not Bilbo. The one who
one with the strawberry
takes
hat, right?
donations.
Oh, that guy.
I can never remember his name.
gives you the
'cause I just
ball.
kept calling him Sam Riegel the whole time.
Is it Wamble?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
No,
think.
Wamble's the farmer.
God damn it. The names are so fucking goofy, and my brain can only retain so many. So I got Wiggle, Cromdo Face, Cromdo Face.
It's part of why Beffica is
That's
such
right.
a fucking queen.
You'll never forget her name as you write it down in people you want to murder. But yeah, no, the game's really delightful. You could have removed the spiritualist character, and I would have felt just as positive on the game. It would have been shorter.
Gramble.
Gramble. There we go. There we go. So what the fuck is the farmer's name?
Wamble.
Wampus.
Wampus?
Wampus. So I combined two names. There we go. That explains it. Okay. Wamble. Cromdo Face is a real piece of shit. If anyone was curious, it's very funny.
Yeah, he is.
Voiced by not Danny DeVito.
Yes. You see him, and the first thing he does is try to sell you a bridge, literally. I'm like, what garbage?
I actually got onto the bridge before he took the door down. I didn't know that was going to be a bit
really?
later. Yeah.
So were you able to access that next area?
No, the bridge still collapsed.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I actually did that too, where I was like, I'm going to launch onto this thing, and I'll show you pay for this bridge, and then it collapses, and I'm like, you piece of shit, Grombo.
There's a bunch of skips you can do in that game to sequence break it, like real hard.
Oh, really?
You know that series of like creators watch speedruns?
Mm-hmm.
There's like a 15-minute one for Bug Snacks.
Ooh, I need to go watch that.
They actually know about a lot of them, and they just left them in. They're like, I mean, if as long as you won't do it accidentally while playing normally, we figured, yeah, fine.
That's pretty cool. I actually tried to launch over an obstacle to get to, I believe it was called the Boiling Springs or something like that.
Boiling Bay.
Boiling Bay, thank you. And the game refused to let me trigger the next area.
Did you find any of the secret passages?
No.
I found a secret passage from the Sizzling Sands to Boiling Bay.
Ooh. That would be helpful. That prevents me from needing to go all the way back to town to travel from the desert to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I need to get that. Weirdly enough, that's not in the trophy list at all. You would think some cool passageway like that would be like, haha, you found the secrets. Nice. Good job. Thumbs up.
Was it not? Did I not get a trophy for that?
I don't think it was, because I don't think I got that, and I checked all the trophies I didn't have. Maybe I forgot it. Maybe it blurred in with all the other ones that are like, rub these two Bug Snacks together. I turned this person into a combo meal.
I'm really tempted now to just have like a small speaker on my shoulder, just play the Bunger voice clip over and over for the rest of my life.
That would be really good. I was telling Bob we should add Bunger to the soundboard, the stream deck. I just reach over and go Bunger, Bunger, Bunger.
Palatos.
Yes, Palatos is one of the best. I'm glad we could talk about this, guys. Palatos, let me explain, is those twin popsicle sticks, like that are two sticks together to form like one big ass popsicle?
Yeah.
Yes.
That on 4 legs, running around, just saying it exactly like Aggro said it, and it's so cold it'll freeze you if you touch it.
Yeah, I encountered it. I haven't gone back and figured out how to catch him yet.
It's real good, especially when he starts panicking and screaming.
Like all the big multi-snacks are amazing. Picantis is maybe the best thing in that game because it is a Taco Bell $5 box given sentience.
Because it's a mantis that's picante.
Oh, it's got like a burrito and some Doritos. And
yes, it's so good. It's so good, man. Yeah, there are multiple like that that are in the game where it's just some giant creature made out of, related food items you would find in a meal or something like that. It's pretty dope. I really enjoyed that game. Definitely enjoyed my time with it. I'm going to go back and 100% it later. Bob, did I play anything else you know of?
I mean, other than Eternal Ring.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Eternal Ring. I guess we'll end the segment with talking about Eternal Ring, the PS2 RPG in the Kingsfield sort of series, because FromSoft used to do this thing where they would make a thing that's clearly a sequel to another thing they made, but they would name it something else because that's funny.
They totally don't do that anymore.
No, they don't.
What are Blood-Borne and Dark Souls?
They're very different from Demon Souls. Thank you.
I think it's Blood-Borne and Demon Souls might be in the same universe.
Maybe. So Eternal Ring, guys. Eternal Ring's got this lore about this island where some child god exists, and people needed to tap into its power to fight against warring factions and shit like that. Part of the way through this game, of course, being a first-person RPG thing, all of your power in this game is gained through rings. So you wear 5 rings on one hand that give you spells to cast, and 5 rings on your other hand that give you attributes, buffs, status, advantages.
Way to go, Ben Kingsley.
I know, right? So this game, it's all about these rings. The game's called Eternal Ring, and you're just on this island, and everyone's talking about seeking the power of the Eternal Ring. You need to get this in order to fight these people who've caused this problem. And now there's corruption happening, and you need to fight that corruption with that. You get hours into this game. Hours! I think like 9 hours into this PS2 RPG, or maybe it was more like 7, and they just go, oh yeah, the Eternal Ring, that's a metaphor. I had a stroke.
I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? This game about rings giving you power. The eternal ring is a metaphor.
Apparently, they just called the device they trapped the baby god in the eternal ring, and I'm like, what the fuck is your deal?
Jesus.
Game. But yeah, that game was surprisingly fun. I really enjoyed it. Bob, you actually did all of the playing.
Yes.
For the most part. You enjoyed it too?
It was pretty neat. Yeah, it's a very strange game.
Incredibly. Because you can, like, the thing is, they have this weirdly involved crafting system where you have, like, what's it, three gems on the left, 3 gems on the right. Left determines the power and type, and the right just determines the power and category of spell. So you get to craft these rings specifically from these gem systems. Rather complicated. It's one of those things where you might want a guide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If we didn't have the guide, that would be a kind of a nightmare to figure out because it feels almost random.
I
unless
feel
you
like
have the equation.
I feel like I would have brute forced it eventually, and luckily that game doesn't do a thing Demon Souls does, where it gives you materials to craft things. Whereas Demon Souls is an asshole and will only give you a certain thing if you grind for an hour.
My number one hope is one day they do something like a Demon Souls game where you have a regular save system.
No.
That'd be neat.
No, automatic saving that fucks you over the instant you do anything.
Yes.
Experimentation's the devil.
Right? It's like, no, don't try anything. You walk that line, mister.
Real
Well,
life.
you're supposed to start a new save if you fuck everything up, Dan.
See, I'm super into that. Like, oh, you fucked it up. Okay, well, I guess I'm playing the rest of the game with this weird-ass weapon.
So, you know, I people tell me I may have made a typo uploading that playthrough to our channel, that the game is apparently not called Elden Ring.
God damn it. Did you do that?
Yes, he did.
Son of a bitch.
I swear to God, Elden Ring is going to be a sequel to this.
It is, and it's going to be really funny because we're going to be like, remember the end of that game? Fucking hilarious.
We should talk about the end of that game where we get the Minecraft sword.
Guys, if you care about spoilers for our live stream, then skip, I don't know, fucking a minute. Fuck you. Anyways, so we're going to spoil the end of Eternal Ring. You go through a secret dungeon full of unbelievably strong things. It's 4 floors deep. Pretty fucking difficult. But an advantage. When you get to the 3rd floor, the first thing you see, basically, when you come out of the entrance from the 2nd floor, is one of the bosses you fought earlier in the game, a cockatrice. Every time you kill it, and I literally mean every time you kill it, you gain a level. So you just enter the floor, kill the cockatrice, leave the floor. Enter the floor, kill the cockatrice, leave the floor. So we level capped immediately.
Nice.
Someone apparently did the math on that.
Yeah.
This is the experience in this game works like no other game. If you get more experience than takes you to the next level, it just disappears.
Yeah.
So
there's no rollover minutes with your experience in Eternal Ring.
So if you need 1 experience and you kill an enemy that gives you 100, you get 1.
Yes.
Right. But the thing is, this cockatrice, apparently, with the way the math works, it gives you 140% of how much you need for a no level every time, no matter what level you need.
What?
Yes.
That's what someone posted at me on Twitter of telling me how this thing works.
Shredded it 100 times or whatever.
Yes. Yes. So then we were unbelievably ripped. We get to the bottom floor. There's this like total Dark Souls ass motherfucking knight.
Yeah, like completely unlike anything else in the game. He is a Dark Souls enemy.
It's so fucking funny. You fight him, and from him you get a Minecraft sword, which would be funny enough on its own that this PS2 game has what looks like, you know, a diamond sword from Minecraft or something like that.
But it also swings the exact
right
way.
Because you get a ring called Animate Sword or Animated Sword. I can't remember which it's called. I think it's called Animated Sword. It makes you swing at 7 times speed, and so then it starts to look like a Minecraft swinging animation.
God.
So the end of this game is us traveling to the metaphorical Eternal Ring,
finding the baby god who's a rude motherfucker and won't develop feelings, and beating the side of its crib with a fucking Minecraft sword and giving it a heart attack.
Wait, you went to the Eternal Ring?
Yes.
The
I thought
Eternal
it was
Ring,
a
I guess,
metaphor.
it's
Did
a
you
metaphor.
fight
I
it?
guess it's yes.
I guess technically the Eternal Ring was his crib.
I think. Was it the crib or the realm he was in that the crib was in?
I'm not sure. It's unclear.
They were very unclear. But yeah, you just walk up to his fucking crib, which is like a floating gotcha bubble, basically. You slam your Minecraft sword into the side of it 4 times as it's casting this unreal levels of powerful magic. He has a heart attack and just lies down. It then plays a cutscene of your guy just looking at him and leaving silently.
He just walks away, gets on a boat without a word.
Very impressive.
And then I can't even describe how funny the next cutscene is. So if you want it, and you do, go look at the live stream. Try to find the moment after what we just described, but before the storybook ending, because the way it's executed is something you cannot express with words, but it's so funny. Let's just say the baby got over its heart attack and then developed feelings.
God, it almost killed me. Now, can you imagine if Elden Ring is just a stealth remake of it?
Oh, it would be so good, man. Oh, that would be great. Just the thought of like, this is an entire game about casting magic. Yes, you have a weapon, but every crafting system, everything else is just like building magic spells, building things to enhance those, and we're just really fucking into rings around here.
What if Elden Ring is first person?
Then I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, that could be neat.
It could be really, really neat. We had some Elden Ring fans in the comments section who are like, this looks a lot better than it did on the PS2. This PS4 back compat's pretty nice. And I'm like, yeah, no, it looked pretty nice. It's one of the few games that I've played on the PS2 back compat where I was like, yeah, this seems like it nailed what you would want. Like, it plays smoothly, it's higher res, it's good. PS2 European Ape Escape 2 doesn't work at all.
Real shame that they have not put more games on this.
Yes, absolutely. If FromSoft kept putting their catalog on it, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, they had some good PS2 stuff.
Yeah, they did. Like Evergrace. Evergrace. Fucking great video game. But I think that's everything we played, so we got to get to the thing of the Podlords.
Oh, the Podlords.
Oh shit, the Podlords.
The what?
Yes, that's right. The what? The what, such as Danny Richardson, E. Lee Broyles. Their birthday one?
Their birthday one.
Xbox Broke Dan. Red Blaze 27. Juicifrost got his motherfucking driver's license.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Go get those chicken tendies.
Now you can get them whenever you want.
Don't need to ask mom anymore.
Dip that shit in the barbecue sauce.
Your fries too.
Suzu Shiro. Emperor Zero. Shibuya got those name changed while I was looking at it, sweet Jesus.
Oh, fuck.
Neo
That-
Shibuya Gato. Thank you, Arzorion, for the art. Oh, man. Actually, I did. One moment. I'm going to have to screen cap this.
Man, this is last minute.
Yeah, no, it's just fucking
Just sniped by time.
by updating your image on Patreon. This is pretty good art.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, it's there we go. Good. Everything's back to normal. I got T-boned in traffic, and now I'm just getting out of the car, and I'm like, okay, everything's fine. Except for not everything's fine. Bubsy month when?
Oh,
Nothing is fine.
God. Even I remember how bad those games are.
What could possibly go wrong?
Every day this month, apparently. Let no one ever say Dan doesn't have a heart of gold. Someone else just did the shit.
Record 1 hour early.
Yeah, 1 hour early. Matty Mo hopes he changed his name in time. Ironic.
Oh, man.
You did. Good.
Only barely.
If you guys are serious about trying out Warframe, get your hands on the Heck as soon as possible. Apparently the Heck, H-E-K, is an important thing.
Noted.
I have to take their word for it. There are a lot of words in that game.
The Busey stand is working 60-hour weeks, so Dan will just have to look at the Series G for the rest of the year.
Oh no, we must work somewhere terrible.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gary Busey stand.
It's either retail or the post office, and neither are good.
Oh.
The only one who can bring the Series X to its knees. It's still back.
Of course.
WTF Spider-Man.
Me every time I see new Peter Parker's face.
Yeah.
Mr. I like Psych! Bob is still pocket out! Oh no!
Oh, shit!
Bob.
Dark Souls font appropriate for the Mimic.
Modern W. I hate you guys for this shit. So much. Hashire Soryo, Kaze no Yoni, Suki Mihara wo Padoru Padoru.
Of course.
I don't care what anyone says. I like this Christmas saber.
Yes, Christmas Saber's pretty great. DFW3K. Xbox shipped a broke box named Xbox, so I shipped Xbox a broke box named Xbox so they could ship me a box named Xbox. Oh no!
That hopefully isn't broke.
Oh my god, these podlords are killing me. Guys, our times changed. Please get these in sooner.
Yeah, Wednesday. Shoot for Wednesday, please.
This is devilish.
Dan, please, your Xbox Series X died in a shipping accident last year. It wasn't your fault.
Press X to Xbox.
I like the quote on the tombstone. It sure was shipped to retail. Santi Kunai. KC. Hey, Eric, look at me. Doink.
Oh, God, that's spectacular.
That really is quality craftsmanship.
Sneaks up on you. Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunoha versus Digital Devil Saga. Switch Edition. Yeah!
It'll never end.
I haven't been keeping
Well, that game
track.
comes
That's
out.
a real one.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know.
I think we're deep enough in that it's the same. That it's the real one.
Brandon Hanabarger canceled his OnlyFans subscriptions to get the money he needed to remain among the Podlords.
Brave.
Strength, my friend.
Oh, don't look at her. Look at me.
Yes, exactly what popped it.
Damn it.
Breasts are temporary. Big Think is eternal.
I was building that one in my head. Hats off.
Why is this? Okay, I'm gonna read it. Hi there, I'm Cortana, and I'm here to help. Kyle Bjork. I'm still gonna read this in the voice I said Scalper's got the rope because this face is funny. Dear Santa, I have been reasonably good this year. Please bring me the head of Ernest Klein on a pike.
But he's a nerd porn auteur.
Apple Gothic just found out Hestu and Sailor Mars share a voice actress. They now wish they didn't know this.
Ooh. And Sailor Mars?
I don't know who Hestu is. Or Hest, Hestu.
I'm not ringing any bells for me.
Zilter. Lordy Fars is a pod lord again. Look out for her power. Or don't. She can't control you.
I'm a sign, not a cop. Oh, this must be a good one.
I don't know. It's just every few steps. It's like they're changed.
Please, guys, Wednesday.
I'm sure it's a Patreon issue, and they would never do this to me intentionally.
Yeah.
Blocks your path. Life is simply unfair, don't you think?
I know this is about Zero Time Dilemma, but I don't know how yet.
Okay, I was like, did a softer world start supporting the podcast?
Zasterder and the birds of the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah, we're hitting the block.
Oh, I can hear the bass line.
Oh no! I forgot to change my name last week because I was so busy playing my brand new Sony PlayStation Entertainment System 5 trademark. Belts and zippers are so 2000s. It's about masks and plaid. It's Twowie. I think everyone knows.
Right.
Yeah. I think that design is a little flat out.
I approve of this.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Blig de blue, schlig des poo.
Bippity boppity boo.
Okay, we can't. Craig Goss. I really want Persona 5 on PC thanks to Like a Dragon taking my free time. These sound like two sentences without a period between them.
Yes.
Hold up. Stop the music. Zebo 101 is back, boys.
Ah,
That's a good.
Did I mention I hate you guys? Hashire Soryo Kaze no Yoshi Fukimahara Oh Padoro First week of
First
Gex.
week of Gexmas.
Why,
my
Gex?
true love gave to me.
Thank you, Gail, for going along with this. I like this. That guy being downloaded via smart delivery. Get cut off his name because it's never gonna finish. PS5 VR haptic feedback be like.
Oh, wow.
Oh, do it. Fuck me up with that magical experience.
You just have to get the Geordie LaForge visor installed.
Cooper Tank. I just like their image.
Okay.
Nothing special to do with the name, but I needed it posted. Joining the Patreon as Podlord for 1 month special event. All of this is their name, by the way. Introducing Darth Malphus, aka Karasuman. It's Karasuman from Symphony of the Night. It's an enemy. That's their profile picture. Feel free to look it up. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank Podlords.
Oh, thank you, Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, Cursed Content Club commentary tracks, where you can watch horrible movies with us, Cursed Content by Committee, where you can vote on the horrible movie you'll watch with us, which also comes with a commentary track, extended armchair dev pitches where we get to show all the knives we didn't get to put in somebody, and other benefits. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast. That sure goes a lot easier when I don't have KZ throwing landmines under my feet.
That's sweet. That's real weird.
Oh, don't worry, Aggro. Don't worry, Aggro. We have an emote for it, so you don't actually have to just type it out.
Yeah, but I feel like if you handcraft it, it's a lot more special.
Gentlemen, now that we've thanked the Podlords, we need to talk about news. I guess I'll steal Casey's news since he's not here and he can't get mad.
And Dr. Aggro does not get news.
Dr. Aggro, would you like to read Casey's news?
Maybe. Let me pull up this document here.
Dr. Aggro, would you like to eat Casey's pudding cup?
You guys get pudding cups?
KZ's in an iron lung, like, no. I need that pudding.
I needed to replace all this blood loss.
High sugar will keep me awake.
Okay, so apparently, Saga Frontier Remastered has been announced.
Oh, well, that's cool news, Dr. Aggro.
Sending weird old JRPG enthusiasts into tizzying fits all over my goddamn timeline.
They came out of the woodwork wearing those sicko shirts.
I don't know. I'm super into it. I've heard people gush about Saga forever, so I'm like, oh shit! Now I get to play Saga. This is amazing.
Oh yeah, Saga
I'm
Frontier.
I'm excited to maybe understand that game now.
It's the weirdest shit in the world. So the game I talk about all the time, Final Fantasy Legends 3, which has Talon, the magical spaceship that travels through time, is a Saga game. So between loving that game and loving Saga Frontier 1 and 2, I'm apparently some level of Saga fan. Had no idea.
A secret Saga fan.
Yeah.
What is Saga Frontier 1 on? Because I'm always
PS1.
Okay.
PS1.
It's on, because I only ever saw 2 at the network video.
Yeah, they didn't produce many copies of 1. I believe my brother owned both of them, and we rented both of them. But I think his PS1 RPGs may have gone missing.
I think I have a CD sleeve full with it in there somewhere.
But yeah, the remaster they're doing looks really sharp based on what we've seen in the trailers. Like, it looks like it's the same source models or whatever, just a higher quality capture of that for all the sprites and everything. It's really genuinely exciting. I'm really jazzed about this.
Aren't they adding content or something?
Yes, they're adding a quest line that was just entirely cut.
Like some cut stuff that we had information on. They rebuilt
a bunch of cut scenes, and they're adding an entirely new character because the game has 7 campaigns.
Yeah, and they're bringing back the
supposed to have an 8th one that supposed to have an 8th one that tied everything together, but they didn't implement him. Although he's in the game and he can join your party.
Yes,
he just doesn't have a campaign associated with him.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember watching the trailer thinking, like, wait, are these new assets that are kind of bad, or are these like old assets that are really good?
I'm pretty sure we know that the backgrounds are the pre-rendered backgrounds that they're using AI to upscale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think everything else is just because everything else was models that they turned into sprites.
Right.
So I'm assuming because they don't look deep. You can't AI upscale those sprites and get the ones that they have now.
Yeah,
they're too detailed.
They look a little too crisp for that. They don't look.
Which makes me think put them through a filter.
Which makes me think it's just no. We have it. Like, we have those assets, and we're just putting them at a higher fidelity.
Yeah, I need to see a crisper looking trailer, but based on what I saw, I agree. It doesn't look like it's just a filter upscale.
No grindia happening here.
No what?
Grandia.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, it didn't look like that, thank God. But yeah, this is super exciting. I'm very hyped. I've been bummed out since I asked my brother and he couldn't find it. I was like, no, there was time now.
There was time now.
Well, Dr. Aggro, do you have any other news?
Yes, it has very, very recently come to my attention that apparently John Garvin and Jeff Ross, writer and directors of Days Gone, #FreakerGang.
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 Have left Sony's Bend studio. Under what circumstances? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, no, that seems...
One left a long time. One left months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a whole year ago for one of them. And he was the guy who was like the founder of it, who had been there for all 15 years or something.
What did Sony Bend do before Days Gone?
Siphon Filter, they did the PSP Resistance game and the Uncharted game on the Vita.
Okay, yeah, that's what yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I know them from something, but it's something weird.
Yeah, so they've always been doing, like, up until Days Gone, they've sort of been doing side project tier for Sony, you know? Like, Siphon Filter was huge, I've been told.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And then they went to PSP Dimension for a long time, and then Days Gone was them coming out and doing a huge game again, and that game took forever to make. Like, they were working on that since Uncharted Golden Abyss came out. So that was 6 years? 7 years? It was nuts.
It was a forever game.
Yeah, but it shipped, and it seemed a lot more put together than you would expect. It's a real shame about them cutting out all the player choice in the game. I imagine that was a heartbreaking decision to make as the writer.
Mm.
Yeah.
You wrote twice as much shit as you needed to.
I really do think they just ripped all potential evil options out of Days Gone.
They were like, if you make these evil options, your guy yells more at the radio. Eventually they're like, that's just what he does.
Because there's parts where characters in the game like call him a slaver. Like,
yes.
He doesn't do that.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
But so did they just rip it out?
Yeah, I have no idea. It's really bizarre. Because for people who don't know, a year before that game came out, they showed actually it was 14 months, so a little bit over a year before that game came out. They showed an extended gameplay demo of the intro where you had moral choices to make. And it's really weird that isn't in the game at all, given that it was in that. And they don't even make the same choices there that they automate you to in the final game, I don't think. So that's pretty interesting. Moving on to extremely related news, Keiichiro Toyama, the creator of Silent Hill, Siren, and Gravity Rush, is leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan and co-founding Bokeh Game Studio with other staff from his former company who worked on similar games with him.
Didn't you say one of those games they worked on was Puppeteer for the other staff?
Yes, Kazunobu Sato was lead character designer on the Siren games, game system director on a Siren New Translation, and the lead game designer on Puppeteer and the producer of The Last Guardian. The other person who's coming over is Junya Okuda, who did lead game designer on Siren 2, Siren New Translation, Gravity Rush Remastered, and Gravity Rush 2. So it's the boys. Like, they seem like a unit.
Part of me hopes that they can get like Gravity Rush IP from Sony to work on that, but maybe they have something else new planned. I don't know.
They posted some piece of art from their new thing, and it looks like it's going to be horror.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they described the genre they were going to work on next.
I guess that throws out the window that idea of that. Oh yeah, Sony Interactive is working on Silent Hill.
Unless Kojima is directing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like the idea was this team, the Siren team, would be working on it. But yeah, if Kojima's making it, then obviously that would be the case.
This makes me think that rumor that Jim Ryan is like marginalizing that whole half of the company is probably true.
Maybe.
Because it's like, well, you're losing these big, like, obviously you leave when you get this feeling that you're just going to be like
spinning your tires.
Spinning your wheels and never getting to making anything major ever again.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, for these exact people, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, look at Kazunobu's career. Like, did Puppeteer as a lead game designer and then was producer on The Last Guardian, and then that's it. That's the last 7 years of their life. I totally understand leaving a company. I don't know if Jim Ryan is leading that initiative, but I specifically think for these three people, it makes a lot of sense because none of them are on Team Asibo, the people who made, Astro's Playroom.
Mm-hmm.
They have been attached to games that haven't been doing well at Sony for a long time.
Yeah, like Gravity Rush.
Siren and Gravity Rush, yeah.
3 years ago, Siren even longer before that. So I'm not surprised these guys would be leaving.
And as I said, that one guy is the producer on The Last Guardian. So, like, none of these games did well, so I could understand if maybe the budgets for their next game weren't huge or something like that. I would understand leaving, or maybe they just didn't find it creatively fulfilling. Once Team Asibo gets shut down, that's when I'll be like, okay, Sony Japan's dead. But I don't know. They could still be doing that Silent Hill game with Kojima as the director and Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan working on it, you know?
Yeah, it's still possible where he just, works with them.
Right. Because they've done co-development stuff for a lot of their history as of late. Like, for example, what's the name of the fucking... Inafune made a Vita game with Sony
Soul
money.
Sacrifice.
Soul Sacrifice.
Yeah,
thank you.
Soul Sacrifice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that was co-developed by them, and so was Freedom Wars, if I remember correctly. So there were a number of projects that were co-developed by Sony Japan, so it wouldn't surprise me if that would end up being the same thing. Where
Yeah.
Sony Japan would co-develop a game with Kojima, but who knows? Or any other studio, really. But yeah, they're leaving. That's kind of good news, in my opinion. Like, I would want them to be more creatively freed up in general. I think it's been clear for years now that Sony Japan isn't exactly flourishing, and I don't think that's a management thing. I think it's when the Vita was the target market and games were cheaper to make, it was easier for Sony Japan to succeed. I think they're never going to make a game that sells 10 million, so that means they can't have a budget for a game that sells 10 million. It sucks.
Yeah.
They need to bring back Ape Escape, but even they could sit there and go,
They
I
could
don't
give
think
Ape Escape the budget. They could give Ape Escape the budget of a game that sells 1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it would.
And I would think that was a great game, most likely. Like, I would
But I
have
don't
a
even
ton
think
of
they've gotten that lately.
I don't think The Last Guardian sold 1 million that fast. So most of it was like budget sales. And that game spent forever in development.
Yeah, that game was it feels like a special case.
Yeah, I feel like that and Gravity Rush 2 may have hung over Sony Japan a bit much, you know?
Gravity Rush 2, unless it was weirdly high budget, which it doesn't feel like, I don't think it sold that badly. I think it sold around 1 million.
Yeah,
Which doesn't feel like low for a game that, again, looks that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Obviously, just doesn't have Days Gone money, God of War money. You know, any
Gravity
other
Rush
Sony
2
IP
was-
money.
Like, without looking at numbers, it feels like it sold well enough to be like, you walk into a room and go, Gravity Rush. And they're like, oh yeah, Gravity Rush.
This statement means so much.
Maybe they are making something now that they don't have to pretend to care about Knack anymore.
That'd be nice.
I feel like we've been pretty knack free, and luckily, like,
I'm waiting.
Here's the good thing, right? We look at these men's careers; none of them have. None of these that people were forced to make Knack 2.
Right.
Now, Dan, there was 4 years between Knack 1 and Knack 2. They could announce Knack 3 for next holiday season, and it would be the same length of time.
And guys, let me be clear. Unless there are a bunch of red flags in the trailer, I would buy it. I don't trust them again because I'm an idiot and I love 3D platformers.
You know the next Knack game is going to be open world, right?
Knack, I need 10 logs over here. Go to the nearby forest and bring them to me. And then Knack outsources it to the goblins because he's racist.
I was going to say, like, Knack, the goblins are getting uppity. It's time to take away the land we've set aside for them to live on.
For anyone who doesn't know, that is basically the plot of Knack 1. Knack 1 is so bad. Oh God, what a terrible game. You know, I'm used to my games being mediocre or bad, not mediocre, bad, and racist. Anyway, we're gonna move on from this news. I hope we get something out of Bokeh Game Studio sometime soon. That would be great.
Yeah, as long as they don't just vanish like God, what's Final Fantasy 15's director's name?
Tabata.
Yeah, Tabata Studio.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Well,
of Tabata
he's making a
Studio.
trip. He's making a AAA game based on the Olympics or some shit.
Yeah, it's totally real.
Yes.
Don't look into it.
It's as real as the 2020 Olympics.
You know what isn't real?
What isn't real?
Dragon Age 4 and the new Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, why do you say that?
Because the Dragon Age series, the series deity, the series overseer, has left BioWare, and Casey Hudson has left BioWare again after spending 3 years there making nothing.
Good fucking God, what a mess.
I mean, spending 3 years at BioWare making nothing is a hell of a lot better than spending 3 years at BioWare making Anthem.
Now, Aggro, Anthem only had 18 months of development. We found that out.
That's true. Most of Anthem's development was, in fact, making nothing.
Yes. She could well have been working on Anthem, making nothing.
I can't see why Casey Hudson's a dude.
Oh, okay.
You can tell because he has an extremely punchable face. Like,
Okay.
look. Nothing personal against Casey Hudson, but I'm going to post this man's face, and they're going to understand.
Okay. I'm bracing.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens.
And that looks like Doug Walker so far, but I agree with you.
Here's Casey Hudson.
I don't condone violence, but...
But feel is right.
I didn't say it, though.
But yeah, they're gone. That makes me think that studio has always been in a state of burning down. There's
They'd be bleeding talent like crazy.
Yeah. I gotta ask, is it just the Western and Eastern development industries take turns having their shit on fire? Like, because it felt like 7th gen Western was
BioWare
fine.
I don't think BioWare is a good metric for this.
I mean, they've been on fire since 7th gen.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna
Dragon Age 2 happened then.
That's true.
Like the last game BioWare made that shipped and everybody was like, this is great. Review, like, critically acclaimed, by both critics and audiences, sells well, has no horrible drama related to it in any way, is Mass Effect 2 that came out more than a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Because
trying to
like,
pinpoint that, but yeah, that's it.
It was January of 2010, so almost 11 years ago.
As I recall it, Dragon Age Inquisition critically did well.
It got like 8 and then 1 game of the year. That's how it was.
Okay. All right.
Dragon Age Inquisition was not a extremely popular game the way like Mass Effect 2 and even 3 and the first Dragon Age was. It was kind of because everybody who wasn't a critic fucking despised 2.
Mm-hmm.
That game shipped a year and a half early, and you could tell because enemies spawned in T-posing when it was time for more enemies.
That's just that 7th gen aesthetic. I don't know what you're talking about.
But so Inquisition was like, yeah, it's all right. Not as bad as 2, but I think it might have sold worse than all of them.
It was great when Hawk
it
showed up in it.
Yeah, where Hawk shows up explicitly to say that the bad villain is super powerful. He's like 10 Gokus.
It's like I didn't play 2. I played 1 Inquisition, and he shows up in Inquisition, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Hawk from Dragon Age 2," and I'm like, "Are you sorry?" He's like, "I am."
Did he have a trademark next to his name?
It only shows up when he dabs.
God, Inquisition was rough.
But yeah, BioWare's a mess. It's a
and then since then, which was 2014.
Yeah.
There's been Andromeda and Anthem. Like it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
BioWare has this weird energy.
I would always say, for the past, like, as we did Big Think, I'm sure a game called Dragon Age 4 will ship.
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. Like they already said don't expect it until like 2023.
The Dragon Age MMO.
So I'm assuming EA is probably just going to shutter this studio because they don't have leadership anymore.
I mean, even if they shutter the studio, we might still get a game release called Dragon Age 4. Probably.
No, it won't be called
somebody.
Dragon Age 4. It won't be called Dragon Age 4. It'll be at least 5 years, and it will be called Dragon Age something, and it will be a reboot or a soft reboot.
It'll definitely have a subtitle.
Shame.
Like they either need to bleed to death or stop bleeding.
I'm really happy to be always hating BioWare. Like, never liked them at all. So it's very comfortable for me.
I have friends who like BioWare, so I hope for a better tomorrow for most game companies.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame because I think some of their IPs are the most beloved, you know?
The Bioware has a problem where none of their stuff can come back because it aged so poorly.
Such as?
Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Like, I'm talking about like the modern climate. Like, you can't release Dragon Age Origins now, where a large element of that game is the orcs kidnap women and turn them into giant monsters that just have orc babies all day.
I don't know what you're talking about. I could absolutely see some company shipping that.
That isn't gonna fly. That isn't gonna fly when you have the reputation of the woke game development studio. Just like the stuff in Mass Effect where it's like, oh yeah, that black character's backstory is that his dad abandoned him, and if you romance him, he cheats on you.
Okay, I'm ignoring that.
Here's our prequel book written by the head writer of Mass Effect that has science fiction blackface in it.
I don't know what that is, and I don't want to. So I'm gonna.
Well, you see, Dan, a character needs to disguise themselves, so they inject nanomachines into themselves, which make them black.
Okay, tell me right now you don't think that wouldn't have been in a Metal Gear game.
Okay, I was like, is he going to say Metal Gear or Orson Scott Card novel?
BioWare made mages in Dragon Age a metaphor for the queer community. Because it's like, oh, you're born that way and you get oppressed. And they didn't think that metaphor out at all beyond that. And then they're like, okay, that country's run by mages. They own slaves. All of them are pedophiles. And they also do conversion therapy on actual gays in our setting. Also, mages take every opportunity to turn into demons for no reason.
It's capitalism, baby. But yeah,
it's just like the X-Men.
It would be
definitely.
It would be fantastic if they got their shit together.
All I remember of the Dragon Age setting is rolling a caster and fucking a demon every chance I got, and then lying about it. So,
did you fuck that demon? No.
Did you fuck that? I'm in charge, Alistair. Shut the fuck up.
And Agro's character starts emoting like an LA Noir suspect.
Dragon Age 1 is funny because you could kill most of the party through various methods. Like, if you just pissed them off. You could just piss them off enough that they'd take a swing at you and then you murder them. And they respected that in Dragon Age 2. And in Dragon Age 3, it's like, no, we need to bring these characters back. Just say they woke up or whatever.
Oh. I'm back from the Shadow Realm.
Like, yeah, I just woke up covered in blood. It was weird.
Strange.
After that guy stabbed me.
What tastes like beans?
So I gotta ask: is there a studio that EA has that's looking on the up and up? Because there's the people who made Apex Legends. They seem like they're okay.
Yeah.
Respawn.
I'm a little worried
Respawn.
about their split studio thing. Like, they started a sister studio, didn't they?
Yeah, where the head runs both.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
He's a GameStop double store manager.
He's a GameStop double store manager. God.
Don't say that. That's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare. And it's real and happening on our streets.
God, is there any EA studio other than them that's...
I think that's it. Like, DICE is still... Like, no one has faith in them.
Yeah, they have not released a good Battlefield game since 4, which was the launch of the PS4.
I saw a comment that said 5 was fine, but even still, 1 was bad, and Hardline is not good. So,
well, Hardline was the other studio.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That was the other DICE.
God, no, that was... They had their own name. What was it?
I thought it was other DICE. Was it not other DICE?
It wasn't, like... Other DICE did the Battlefront games.
One moment. Let me find the Wikipedia article for Hardline by searching up Amy Hennig's career.
Brought to you by Andrew Dice Play Studios.
God damn you.
Does Max
Visceral
still exist?
Visceral made it. Yeah, Visceral made it. Who? Maxis? God, no.
If it does,
Maxis,
only a name.
yeah, Maxis is more of a rights holder sort of thing. I think they might develop the games now, but it's none of the same people, so it doesn't matter.
Criterion is terrible now.
Criterion basically doesn't exist. They just co-developed some stuff. I think they did a remaster of a Need for Speed.
Is that right?
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty dire. It's pretty dire.
Their credits say the last thing they made entirely was Need for Speed Most Wanted in 2012.
Yeah, Criterion's a real depressing state.
Oh, but they announced that Criterion's returning as the main developer of Need for Speed.
They did.
Okay.
So that's hopefully their turnaround.
Hopefully that turns out well. Please, God.
Please.
Please. I would like an EA studio to be excited for. Please.
Or
We don't even know who's making Skate. Or not. That's the current state.
I need Jedi Fallen Order to be good, please.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of room to improve with the sequel.
I hope they give it the time it deserves instead of releasing it like 6 months early.
Yeah. And maybe just rip out every Dark Souls-like element. Just yank it out.
I'd be okay with that.
I would very much prefer them to just make a straightforward Star Wars action game that doesn't have any Dark Souls-esque elements whatsoever.
Right?
I still think many things about that game are really neat, and many other things piss me off. But that's Respawn, so we're cheating by it.
Right, like the one studio we can be excited for it all is Respawn.
Yeah, and thank God, like, Respawn's there to be like, oh, cool new studios could exist remotely in Western game development, because I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of new studios during the 8th gen that, made large-scale games. Ready at Dawn was looking to make that transition, and that didn't go well with the Order.
Oh, no, I didn't want to think about that.
Yeah, because they were portable developers all the way until the Order 1886.
I kept waiting for an Order sequel to happen.
I still think they might hand that to that new
it seemed like
studio
one of those
making.
IPs that they just wouldn't fucking give up on.
See, that's a PS3 Sony. PS4 Sony is very different.
True.
They're like, you all get to make IPs, and one of them will die. And Ready at Dawn sweating. Sony does have that new studio they're making that's supposed to be making a shooter, as well as Guerrilla making a secret shooter project in the background while making Horizon 2. So who knows? Aggro, maybe one of those games is the Order 1887.
No, Monkey, that wasn't me. Uncurl.
Okay, we got.
I think that's not a risk, considering they didn't put that game even in the PS Plus thing.
Yeah, I guess they
didn't, but they put it in Astrobot.
They did.
That's true.
They put everything in Astrobot,
except for Legend of Legaia.
Except for Legend of Dragoon.
Legend of Dragoon. That's so
oh man, some of those little robots were doing fucked up things to some of those other robots.
That is correct.
Let's
Bob.
talk about other things.
Yeah, Bob, you already talked about Hwang.
Yeah, I did. So we don't need to talk about that.
So we don't need to move on to that. Bob, what is this
But
next
I have
bullet?
so many more shitty Blood-Borne jokes to make.
Oh, great.
Not great. Bob, what's this next bullet?
Pokemon announced their 21st anniversary by showing off a logo. It's
25th?
25th.
Sorry.
25th. It's the exact same logo as the 20th anniversary I have sitting on my wall over here, but looks worse.
So literally,
Yeah,
for people who
it's real
don't
bad.
know, it's like the Pikachu's cheeks are the red numbers 2 and 5, but originally they were 2 and 0, and it worked way better.
And also, it was like made up of split up other Pokemon.
Yeah,
it was
like
very
starters.
cool. Very cool. I thought it was a neat logo originally. When I saw this reveal, Bob, which I forgot I saw it until you brought it into the news document, I looked at it and I'm like, there's no way. That's the same logo.
Yeah, I had to do a double take. I was like, isn't that on my wall?
Yeah, because we look at it all the time. It's on the set next to Bob's wall in the series of posters we put up there for our review of the Badass Console's HDMI device for the GameCube. Those posters only made sense there for that.
Yeah, now it's kind of a confusing little block posters.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Why would you... Whatever. Let's move on. This doesn't...
Right? Like you're telling me a Pokemon thing was rushed and low effort and turned out bad? I'm really shocked.
I know. Please brace yourself.
I'm scared about next year, guys, of being 25th anniversary. They might feel like they need to release a game other than Pokemon Snap, when really they just release Pokemon Snap and keep working on other stuff.
They're going to release a new Pokemon next year, Bob.
They really shouldn't.
I'm just not even gonna care.
Yeah.
It might be okay. It might be okay. The DLC seems to be so low effort that obviously not a lot of time and money went into it.
I don't know. Tons of people kept saying the second DLC was going to be the huge, great one, and then no one talked about it. Again,
Probably an hour long.
And the Gigantamax quest where you catch Pokemon in a cave with your friends is a menu.
yeah, which is really fucking dire. Hey, anyway, hey Bob, move on.
Yeah, sure. EG7, which stands for Enad Global 7.
I like to accentuate it like email and just make it ENAD.
Sure.
Some Winamp shit.
It really whips the llama's neck.
Well, they acquired Daybreak, the creators of the classic Sony IP, Untold Legends.
Oh, wow.
Also EverQuest, but who cares?
EverQuest, never heard of it. Until Legends, though.
That's 300 millions acquiring them.
That's really weird. EverQuest as an IP is not worth that in 2020. Why would you pay $300 million?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems crazy. And apparently, week before that, they brought Piranha Games, the guys who made the new Mech Warrior.
They bought them for way less.
Yeah, they did for 24 million.
Wait, there's a new Mech Warrior?
Yeah, exactly. Hence why they were cheaper.
Yeah.
Not even kidding.
This seems to be one of those, like, we just send people to hell.
It sounds like they're a new thing that they want to get into the gaming industry, and I'm going to have some faith.
You're going to hope that this is like a THQ thing.
Yeah, this feels like a THQ thing.
But they're the people behind Minimal Effect.
Oh no.
Oh, that's
not a good start. But now they're acquiring real studios, so maybe they'll turn things around.
I mean,
or
real
they'll
studio.
send those companies to mobile hell.
I honestly don't respect Daybreak at all. They haven't shipped anything this entire last generation.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
That's worth
I can't
noting.
believe they spent that much money on them.
For example, does anyone remember that they were pimping EverQuest Next, a game where it would be like Minecraft somehow, and you would make things and then sell them in their market. They don't know how this works, but here's a demo so you can try out crafting in this MMO. Please be interested. It's like Minecraft now. Please, for the love of God.
Yeah,
I remember EverQuest Next.
Christ, that sounds dire.
It was.
Yeah, you can fully deform the environment, and I assume that made the game basically impossible.
But can you super deform the environment?
I'm sure you can make as many chibi sabers and Santa outfits out of the environment as you want. Yeah.
Sold.
Yeah, they should have shipped it.
Yeah, they really should have. I would have paid that.
No matter how bad it was, they should have.
We got new King of Fighters 15 news this week, finally.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. If it goes like THQ, that means we're getting another Untold Legends or an Untold Legends remaster.
I'm really excited if that happens.
That would be so funny.
Untold Legends PS3 remastered. Oh my god. You can't do enough to fix that game, to make it playable in the modern era.
We completely redid the camera system. Oh, cool, great. Our camera system's so good. Oh no, our camera system's the most advanced ever made. Somehow they turned it into 2 human.
God damn.
Maybe they removed all the trees.
Yeah, that would help.
Every time somebody says you can't remake this game, I keep thinking, like, can we just start throwing challenge projects at Blue Point and see what their breaking point is?
Right? They're like, it's identical to the original version. Yeah, that was the problem. What did you do?
They're like, we had some directors who were a big fan of
they don't
Legends
fix things.
Like, we are the Zack Snyder of game production, all right? It's exactly the same, so if there was a problem in the original, it's still fucking here.
Pristine.
Jesus Christ.
We sealed this turn.
So, Bob.
King of Fighters, huh?
Are there any Blood-Borne characters being added to King of Fighters?
Not that I know of yet, but probably. I mean, look at the roster; it's insane.
I'd be down for that for Sam Show Season 3. Just add Blood-Borne Hunter.
Hell yeah.
That would be great.
Yes.
Holy shit.
That's way better than
For Honorman.
For Honorman.
I mean, what would it be better than For Honor?
I don't know. Even that random Chinese mobile game was better than For Honor, man. But King of Fighters 15, we got a teaser announcement for the trailer, which is going to be in January.
What?
Yeah, this is so dumb.
I love how this shit works now.
But they showed off a couple pieces of concept art for Kyo, Benimaru, and Shunhei. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. It's a Chinese name. Maybe Shunhei.
Who knows?
But they were all in the previous games, except for Shunhei came in the last game, and they weren't sure if he's going to be the protagonist for the new arc, because they always have a protagonist like Kyo, K-Dash, and then Ash Crimson.
Mm-hmm.
And now this guy is going to be the protagonist of this arc. He's cool. He has like giant energy hands and a cape.
Yeah, Shunei is pretty cool. I like his
Bitchin'.
design.
And all the Kyo and Benimaru got somewhat new designs. Like Kyo's outfit looks like the one he wore in 13, where it's got the leather jacket. At least I think that was 13. That might have been 12. Whichever one they switched to the new sprites.
I think that's 12.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
And then Benimaru's got like a tank top designed around a Chinese dress. It's kind of neat looking. It's very flamboyant, which works. But then they kind of just moved on. Like, yeah, it's the real trailer on the 7th of January. It's like,
Great.
wow.
Every time he says Benimaru, I keep thinking Benihana.
Fair.
I'm sorry for that.
You should be.
Now
Now wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Are you thinking the skating trick or the eatery?
The eatery, yeah.
Okay.
Except now I'm envisioning it in a tank top, so it's worse.
I was thinking the skating trick. We're all over the place with this one.
The worst part, I knew he was talking about the eatery, but I needed him to explain that to the audience.
And also, apparently, we're going to get Sam Shows 3 reveals on that same day they're putting out the King of Fighters trailer.
Neat.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
2 new characters.
Yeah, because it's going to be whatever the last Blade one they're going to show, and then another one on top of that.
Mm.
So, very exciting. I mean, that'd be cool.
Hell yeah, it would.
Do you think they'll get Kratos like Fortnite did?
I don't think they'll be able to get Kratos,
Jeez.
but Guts seems more attainable.
Okay. If you say so.
Guts would be really cool.
Think it's Thanos. Thanos for Sam's show. Okay. All we got left is Feels news. Let's do it, Feel.
Okay, Doom Eternal for Switch launches December 8th. It isn't a cloud game. It's digital only now. I assume the default Switch cartridge is 16 gigs. You know if that's
Yes. I think that's right.
Well,
the
this
larger
this
one.
game is 18 gigs, which is why it's digital only.
Oh.
I was worried it was going to be 50.
They could have just
I'm
hacked off the last 2 levels. I mean, Switch players wouldn't get there anyway.
I mean, that's... dude, fucking... It's Doom. You're used to ports doing that to Doom games, so, like, fuck.
Look, you don't want to hear that much about the Icon of Sin and how long it needs to remain on Earth.
The icon of sins on Earth. I will now teleport you there.
Fun fact, I didn't know that's what that phrase was from for weeks.
It's really good how many times you hear that, because I never got tired of it. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was just enough to make you think it was funny.
Yeah, it works.
The Good Life, which is Swery's game that he crowdfunded about a reporter woman in a small creepy town who turns into a cat or a dog sometimes.
Yeah, everyone in the town turns into animals at night, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It hits summer next year.
Shocking.
Cool.
I was starting to believe maybe that game wasn't coming.
Also, we got new Switch firmware, which includes a lot of features that would make sense if they were launching a new revision of the Switch sometime within the next 6 months.
That's crazy.
No way.
Features such as what?
You can copy videos and screenshots to your phone, to a USB drive, or to your computer. They made cloud saves easier to use. They automated it a lot more.
Thank God.
Good.
And not related to the Switch Pro, which is totally real. You can now prioritize what thing you want to download.
That just now happened?
Yep.
Never would have figured that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Switch, I changed my mind. I realized that first game I went and bought was really big, and I just want to play the second one while the first one downloads. Can you and it just
No.
starts screaming, "Time is linear!"
Shouldn't have spent your Titanite shards on that first one then, fucker.
I'm just like, oh.
Also, we brushed over Kratos in Fortnite, but Kratos is in Fortnite, and he's part of like the Video Game Legends collection. So apparently, there's going to be more crossover video game characters.
I think I saw a leak of Master Chief.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna put in fucking Master Chief, and then Halo Infinite's gonna look even worse.
Oh no, somebody's gonna reenact Virtual Vendetta.
So, Bob,
Great.
Yeah.
how many Blood-Borne characters are getting added to Fortnite?
Oh, man, that would be really great.
And the last thing is, Microsoft has bought Smash.gg, the site for organizing tournaments and fighting games.
That's really bizarre, considering they didn't, make a new Killer Instinct.
Considering that they aren't the primary platform for any fighting game.
Considering they don't have any IPs that are really considered a competitive scene anymore, and haven't been the case for years.
Yeah, this feels like a really deeply American capitalist move.
Yes.
Do you think they just assume they own Smash Brothers now?
Yes.
It's going to be like when they bought Rare.
I firmly believe, like they're not going to say that, but somebody that authorized this buyout thought that this would give them leverage over Nintendo.
And then Nintendo's like, man, we hated them and wished we had legal recourse to ruin them. Thanks for trapping them in your hell box.
I guess they're going to be used to make Halo tournaments.
Right.
Does anyone do that?
So what do you guys do? We organize online tournaments. Can you organize making some Forza cars, or
Can you make a tournament where people make Forza cars?
Okay, so here's the event. We have a contest where all these teams make the best looking Forza car, and the winner gets nothing.
Unfortunately, we are never making a Forza game again. We'll have to throw away the winning cars too.
Oh my God.
the winner gets a cease and desist order for using the art he made?
Oh no! Well, that's the end of the news, everyone. Glad we can end on top like this. Another Microsoft buyout, fucking great. Hey,
God, they need to stop.
Hey, Dr. Agra, what do you have going on next week?
I'm mostly just going to be pretty pro-consumer in the next week.
Oh, that's great. Me too. I'm being extra pro-consumer by shipping my box that I paid $500 for to some people to win an argument.
Hey, Dan.
What's up?
Take a shit in that console.
They're like, sir, it couldn't download from the internet because there's shit's here.
Oh my, you don't say. I feel like I would have smelled that. Congrats to you on designing such an efficient cooling system that it never rose to a temperature to where... God damn it.
Hey, Phil, what do you have going on over the next week?
At some point, I'll stream well, by the time you hear this, I will either have started or will be starting that day Zero Time Dilemma, which I assume is just going to hurt. People keep talking about snails and a blind man, and I'm just getting upset preemptively.
Well, that's good, because then when it's good, you'll just be pleasantly surprised. You'll be extra sensitive. You'll be like, oh, this was actually somewhat delightful. Fantastic. Good one, chat. Bob, what are we doing with our lives?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Game Awards is next week.
Oh, fuck.
Get excited for the 8th or 10th or what?
We will.
Let me see.
Isn't it the 10th?
The 10th.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, it's a week from today, from when we're recording this. But yes, on Thursday we will be doing at least one live stream concurrently of the Game Awards. So head on over to twitch.tv/GigaBoots for a stream of that. It is potentially possible, if KZ's feeling up to it, that he will also be doing a stream over on twitch.tv/KZExcellent or KinoRawGoatswag.com. So keep an eye out for that. God knows our commentary is going to be something.
Yeah, see if it
syncs up again.
Syncs up again.
I had a lot of confidence in this, and then the first thing they had to talk about was we're going to show the new map for, oh no, what's the name of that game?
I have no idea.
Apex Legends?
No, it's not Apex Legends. It's that.
Oh, you're not talking about the Mirage Voyage?
No, I'm talking about that indie game that's about pretending to be other people. Or pretend.
Oh, Among Us.
Among Us, yes. The new map for Among Us. That does not sound super hype.
That game has like 15 million players, so I'm sure somebody cares.
Yeah, someone cares. Bob, we were talking about whether or not Kojima would show off his project way too early.
I think he will.
I think he will too. I think the Game Awards is the exact format for that man to show off a game that's barely done.
Started, you mean?
Yeah. Just barely like finished at all. Like it's like months into production and he's gonna show a cutscene, which of course will focus on one actor because COVID. So it'll just be some Hollywood person chewing scenery and he'll be like, it's a game. And I'll love it. So
And I'll be like, okay, I'll buy it.
What are the odds we get literally a 2-second Elden Ring trailer?
I think it's pretty like we'll see something of Elden Ring. It might be only 2 seconds, like the second row arm.
Yeah, precisely that.
Phil Spencer brought it up recently, which I feel like he wouldn't have done if it wasn't going to resurface soon.
I don't know. I mean, Elden Ring's pretty hype, but once you see Kojima direct Matthew Broderick, everything else is just going to be background radiation.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos were brought to you by our lordly executive producers: Esme, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, Third Birthday Wen, and Adam Macarena. Thank you very much to our executive producers.
And also these guys.
Soar on over to patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.